My pants below my waist and another dance when I'm in this place. My pants below my waist and another dance when I'm in this place. My pants below my waist and another dance when I'm in this place.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Hi, Travian. How you doing?
I'm amazing.
Hi
Hello,
guys, can you hear
Ariel.
me?
Can you
Yes.
hear us?
Hey, Ariel.
Can you hear
How
me?
are you?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, good.
we
How
can hear
are
you.
you ladies?
Finding
Amazing.
you.
I'm well. I'm well.
Good, good,
Welcome to
good.
the show.
Welcome to
Thank
the
you.
show.
Thanks for the invite. Thanks for the invite. I'm glad I see parental advisory. That means I can speak freely.
Oh, yeah, you can speak freely. You can speak
Her,
freely in this room. That's for sure.
That is
Welcome,
listen,
everybody,
I
to the
told
Hood
them.
Conservative Podcast with my co-host Travian, and we're gonna go ahead on and start this show. Y'all can leave y'all comment. Let us know where you from, so we can see y'all in the comment section. Cause we do see you all are here in the room. So go ahead on,
Yes.
Travian.
I want to thank everybody for joining us here.
You're frozen.
Am I?
I was
Yes.
having connection issues too.
Okay, you back.
I'm, I'm like, okay, well, thanks for joining us. Today is going to be a very exciting show. We have Ariel Zinn on, who has an amazing story to tell. She's currently joining us from out of the country. And I'm going to go ahead and let her do a short, give you guys a short preview on who she is and what she is planning on discussing with us today.
Okay, thanks. Thank you all. Thanks to the chat. So yeah, I'm Ariel Zen. I'm the founder of iFocus Technology. It's a technology that you have not heard of yet. It's in the works for it to get to you guys. Basically, the reason that you haven't heard of me or my technology is because of our current government and the status that it is in right now, suppressing technology and there, so on. So I am here because Trivian was so kind to invite me onto the platform to discuss different political issues that we're dealing with. I am also a DOJ whistleblower. I witnessed prisoner medical neglect within the 14 years that I was working in the prison system. And as soon as we blew the whistle, all of the corruption came right at my door. Everything was taken from me and my family once we decided to speak out for the prisoners. And I know a lot of people don't really have any insight as to what goes on inside of the prisons. But even if you don't, you should know that your tax dollars are paying for all of these services to be rendered to each and every single human that's in those cells, and your tax dollars are not going towards that. So I think that it's really important that people are more aware of where all of these damages are coming from. I mean, you guys are hearing about how Doge has been, finding all of this funding that is being basically stolen from the taxpayers, and it's not going towards the things that we believe that they're going towards. I can tell you that it is true. I can tell you that have personal experience and have been trying to let people know about how much it's an obscene amount of money, you all, that is being taken from you guys. So it's really important for us to have these conversations, for us to discuss these complex conversations. I know people don't like to get political about things. I am not a person that I would per se is into politics or anything like that, but I found myself having to be more cognitive of these things once I became so involved.
Thank you for telling. I didn't know that you were in the prison systems or working in the prison system. You never told me that story.
Yeah, that was the reason that we had to come down here, and that's how we were actually able to fund the cancer clinic that I told you that we were running down here during COVID. We were healing people. We were dissolving tumors with a Tesla coil. I met with some brilliant scientists down here that were from Argentina, and we had a beautiful system coming. People were coming all from all over the world to come and get healed during COVID, the most oppressed time that the entire world felt, and we were able to fund it. We were personally funding it with the money that we were making with our prison contract, and within that time they had already had their hooks in, but we had no idea that they were actually trying to steal my husband Santana Nottage. He's the actual inventor and creator of our eye focus technology, our spectacles that you can deliver any prescription pair of glasses within 5 minutes by hand in remote rural areas with no running water, with no electricity. All of these things can be accessible to the world now. But they're trying to take it because he has patents on all of it. He has patents in the United States, China, Hong Kong, India, Europe, and the UK. We were completely bulletproof as far as we were concerned. We took all of the avenues, but once we met with the MITs and the Rockefellers, they wanted to turn it into a college curriculum and basically turn it into another institutionalized entity. And that is what we were not trying to do, because we wanted this for America. And I want to make this so clear. This industry that we have created is jobs, not just for people who want to actually perform the task and going out and giving people the prescription glasses, but this is manufacturing. Instead of us manufacturing everything in China, which everyone is still doing to this day, even with the tariffs. That's why everybody's so upset about the tariffs, because if you're a small business owner, you are working with China. We could be doing this at home, and that's what we wanted. So, we manufacture everything ourselves. We've already manufactured ourselves. I'm on my rooftop right now with more than $10 million of inventory with lenses and frames that I can't move because the government is working with the Mexican government as well in America, and they are keeping me from being able to send out packages. So, that's been my dilemma. That mine has been extremely systematic. It's been extremely harsh. My bank account was completely shut down in 2021 for absolutely no reason. It was a full account with full funds in it, multiple, more than $20,000 at the time that I had in my own personal account. No reason for it to be shut down, completely shut down. So we are being systematically, literally starved out of the system because of what we can bring. And, when Trump got in office, even though I'm not a fan of any person or a political person at all, I was hopeful that these things, I wouldn't be dealing with these things anymore because I knew who was doing it. It was the Democratic Party who was completely involved. I'm from Maryland, and the state's attorney's office is Democratic. Everything in Maryland is Democratic, as you all know. So I was really hoping that once that took place, we would be able to, feel some breathing room. But as you see, it's been pretty disappointing because most of the things that we were supposed to be getting delivered to us, we haven't. Let's just say the Epstein files. We still haven't received those things. There's so many things that, we were promised that we haven't seen yet. So I'm really interested to hear how you ladies feel about how this administration is handling things, with all, because none of us wanted Kamala to win. None of us, that was just a disaster and a hell handbasket, but now we're at a point where we have Trump and we had all of these promises. We got the RFKs, but we still have vaccines on the shelves. We're talking about food dye when and we're talking about still supporting Israel, and all of these things that we weren't supposed to be seeing, we're still seeing. So I haven't stopped fighting. I'm still looking for an outlet and a way for you guys to get this, because this is for your children. Um, long term, we want to be able to train the children. We have a website. We completely train for free. But right now I'm not even in a position where I can even do that because I can't get the stock to anyone. So but that is how we were able to finance everything. That is how we were able to have a home in Mexico, have land in Belize, because before they took everything, we made some really smart decisions. And they stopped us abruptly once they saw that we were sending supplies to Africa, Ghana, Gambia, Australia. Even in Atlanta and Los Angeles, we sent stock to as well. Once they started seeing that, they took everything.
Wow, that's like really crazy. Yeah, I actually during COVID, like 4 days before they shut the country down, I googled where there was no COVID, and Belize came up. So I just packed up and I was in Belize for 4 months. Came back to the States, didn't even come back to Chicago right away. Went to Scottsdale because I could still be outside.
Laverne
But I
Spicer.
just realized
Go to
that it was just
subscriptions.
a moment that everybody was brainwashed. And when I came back to the United States, everybody was crazy. Everybody was paranoid. It was the most, I found, I didn't even like anybody because everybody had changed into this, like, you know, fear creature. And so it was crazy. But as far as your situation, um, I know a little bit about your technology. I know that it almost like literally is the cure for blindness, and you having these issues because larger
Preventable
corporations
blindness.
like right and Luxottica and companies like that who have the cornerstone on the markets, have gone against you and your husband and your technology. We had talked once upon a time. I was going to try and talk to one of the foreign leaders in Thailand to, help you guys get out of Mexico. Because why don't you tell the audience how long you've been there, like what has happened, like what what is going on in your life right now?
Okay, thank you. And I have to keep putting the phone close because I'm having a hard time hearing from my device for whatever reason. I'm trying to find my earbuds right now. But yeah, I'm currently in Mexico. I've been in Mexico. So we came down here in 2021, and then I got pregnant with my twins, and I went back to the States to have my babies, and then I came right back at the end of 2021. So I've been here since then. I've been here for about four and a half so years collectively, outside of the time that I was in the States to have my babies. And we're still in the same position. Like I said, my bank account was shut down. My husband, he still does have his bank account. We are we have a YouTube channel where we share our story, where people can go to if they would like to reach out, if they would like to be a part and help build and grow. But right now, I'm still unable to send Well, let's just say this: every once in a while a package gets through, but I'm literally saying a bunch of Hail Marys, crossing my fingers and toes and everything that it gets there. But right now we aren't able to move our inventory because we don't want to make any promises that we cannot deliver. And until we're in a situation where we can get out, this is kind of where we are. We're kind of just stuck here. So we are just trying to hang on by a very thin string. We're trying to figure out who is actually being honest and telling the truth, and who is actually really trying to move America forward. As of yet, I have not found anyone. I've spoken to quite a few representatives. I've spoken to quite a few organizations, and it's pretty much all the same thing. No one really cares because I don't think that people really understand how revolutionary and how important this technology is. More than 2.3 billion of the population are affected by unrefractive error. And unrefractive error is simply the inability to be able to have access to eyeglasses. Most people around the world, see, we live in America, so we have a very privileged life. But most places in the world are living off of $1 a day. And most of those places do not even have access to an optometrist to get a basic eye exam. So the whole reason that we came up with this concept was because it's important for people to be able to see. Most people think that people have all of these car accidents in different countries because they have poor infrastructure. It is true, but they're actually having the accidents. 80% are actually accidents because the people could not see. And it's such a simple fix. People don't have to go blind anymore. You get your eyeglass prescription, you get your glasses, and you start to heal. And we have eliminated the process where people have to wait for a long time, or they have to go to a certain clinic and then they have to wait, and then the clinic has to find them and their address, because most people have to move around a lot. Well, now they don't have to do that anymore. They can have it dispensed right away. And like I said, it's also a potential career if anybody is interested, and children can do it. Someone a little older than 13 years old, really, I mean, if they're really smart, they could do it probably at 11. But I just think 13 and up, this will be a great side hustle for them to go to retirement communities, for the young to start speaking to the elders and getting to have those shared experiences. It's a whole beautiful symbiotic relationship that this would bring on top of the manufacturing that could be done in America. So right now, I'm still trying to find support for that. Still trying to see who would like to get involved with this, because this is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. You spoke of Luxottica, and Luxottica and Essilor signed a deal for $62 billion in 2018, I believe. And it was a deal that wasn't even necessary to make. The shareholders would be really, really pissed off if they knew that this technology was around when they made that deal.
So
What was the
what's
deal?
your website address for people that are interested in checking out your product?
Sure, it's www.i-focus experience with an x.com, and I'll put it in the chat as well, and you can plug it into the group, the whole chat. I can't see, but I'll put it in now.
Okay.
Now, you did say that in your family because of a vaccine, and that one of your children was vaccinated. What's been the response to that? Have you contacted any of the CDCs, or what's transpired with that now?
Okay, so 2014, my son was born, and I did everything that your pediatrician is telling you to do once you have your child. Going to the regular doctor's appointments, getting the vaccinations on schedule and everything. And then after he got the round with, it's about 3 different shots. It's the MMR, measles, mumps, rubella, and something else. Everything was just like lights out with my son. Okay, so once I started figuring those things out, I had stopped vaccinating because my other son was born at the time too, but he was about 3 months when I started to see something was going on with my oldest son. So once that happened, I stopped doing the vaccines because no one could give me any reasonable answers about what's going on with the children. So I took it upon myself to research, find out everything, which I did. And basically these side effects that we're seeing happening after these children are getting these vaccinations are encephalitis of the brain. It's swelling of the brain, and it's caused by the different heavy metals, different gene manipulation, basically pretty much like what everybody is speaking about with the mRNA technology that they put in the COVID vaccine. Well, people don't know, but this has been going on for a very long time. and the children have been suffering. You know, people are always wondering about, like, and you're from Chicago, Trivian. People are always talking about the violence and the crime in Chicago and everything, and you know, they always contributed to, you know, the black kids are, you know, just unruly and everything. But what's actually happening is those children are vaccine damaged. All of these children, their wires are all screwed with, their hormones are all screwed with. That's why you have boys that want to be girls, girls that want to be boys. All of these things are byproducts of the genetic manipulation that's taking place in these vaccines. With my son, it made him nonverbal. He's kind of like in a whole nother dimension most of the time. So we took it into our own hands to figure it out once we saw that the medical community was not only not going to help us in America, but they're hiding it. So we moved to Florida. I mean, not Florida. We moved to Holland, and we were doing a different kind of remedies. We did chelation therapy. We went to Germany. Also, we went to Africa. We went to Malaysia and did stem cell therapy, because I even banked my cord blood with my son, because I'm telling you, I was doing everything by the book. You know, whatever they thought said was a good suggestion, I did it. Okay, I was a great patient for the medical industrial complex. So we took his cord blood. Like I said, we did the stem cell therapy in Malaysia because we couldn't do it in the United States. I couldn't get in the study in Duke. So we went to Malaysia. The stem cell therapy we saw a temporary change, but then it kind of regressed right back. So we're still dealing with this. In fact, that's how we got into the cancer clinic down here, and it was Puerto Morelos down here in Mexico, because I went down there to see if the machine could help my son, and it was unsuccessful for my son. But like I said, that machine was shrinking tumors, so you know, it was still a beautiful thing. But the autism thing is, and I say that loosely, parents, because autism is a misdiagnosis for what is happening with your children. In fact, autism isn't even a diagnosis. It's such a huge umbrella, and they throw everything underneath of it. So you're never going to be able to figure out what's going on with your kid. So you really need to take it upon yourself. Get your blood work, get urine samples, get stool samples, so you can see where the heavy metals are and those different levels are, to see how you can actually help your child. Because that's what I did. And this has been a very long journey. And I did actually connect with CHD, RFK's platform, well, former platform before he became the secretary. And they did an interview with me in 2022, and I thought it was going to be a great situation, because the Black community is really unaware of what's happening to our children, because Black boys specifically are 10 times more likely to get autism after the MMR vaccine than any other ethnicity or gender. And that is something that has been clinically proven. Dr. Thompson, he was actually in RFK's documentary Vaxxed, and he's the one who laid it all out, because he was working for the CDC. And when he was working there and had those findings, the CDC told him to destroy the evidence that showed that Black boys were more likely to get it. So once he did that, so like I said, so I went on CHD. They did the interview, and I thought it would be really good for the Black community to figure out what was going on with our kids, because I have a controlled case study. I have my oldest son, who was fully vaccinated, severely autistic. I have my second son, who was just partially vaccinated. Like I said, it stopped at 3 months, and he just has like a little speech delay, but he's okay. He's fine. And I just had my twins in 2021. No vaccinations, home birth, completely natural, and they are brilliant. They're doing everything past beyond their milestones. So I can clinically prove it with the case study in my home, what is happening with the children with these vaccines. CHD never aired the interview. They never aired it. I recorded it. And I have it on my Rumble channel, because I'm telling people to ask yourself, why would this organization that is the only organization that is telling people about the vaccines, why would they not show this groundbreaking interview? And the answer is because I believe that these people are getting paid for the fight versus the solution, actually trying to bring a solution. They gaslight us. They tell us all of these things. They give us all of this information dump about what's happening to us, about what's happening with our air, with the chemtrails, the vaccines, the water. They'll give us all of that information to get us riled up, to get them on their side. And then when it comes to actually doing something about it, it always seems to fall flat.
Right.
So I've pretty much spoken to anybody that you could possibly talk to about the vaccines and everything. I haven't found that anyone is really doing anything that's going to stop it. Like, I don't know why there aren't parents outside of the pediatrician's office with signs. You know how they have the people outside of the abortion clinics? That's what parents should be doing outside of the pediatrician's office for these vaccines. That's how serious it is. I mean, this is our future. These children are not going to be able to be in the military. We won't have a military in the future. Because and people don't understand the domino effect that takes place when you let your future all be brain damaged. It's and have to be on some kind of pharmaceutical pills. I don't have my children on them, but most parents do, because it is very difficult to cope with. So I don't judge them, but it's hard. It's really hard.
Well, thank you for running that down. And it sounds have to.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that information with us.
Right, right. G
You're more than
or
welcome.
Mark, would you roll one of Laverne's clips, please? Mark, are you there?
Gee, where y'all at?
Where's the mainstream media at for this young lady, Larisha Thompson? Where is her coverage? Where's her news coverage? 6 illegal aliens shot her on May 2nd, gunned her down. They charged him on May 13th, but I haven't heard anything from CNN, MSNBC. Where you guys at? Why aren't you talking about this woman, this black woman who was a mother? Oh, where's her coverage? Yeah, I'm so disappointed. I know usually my videos are, a little more upbeat, but this is really, really, really messing with me because I'm sick of the Democrats. Why is there no outrage about this, Democrats? Because it doesn't fit your narrative. Or is it, yeah, like I said, is it because she's a black woman and you only use black women as a scapegoat, Democrats? So you doing all your dirt, so you throw the black woman in front so she can be the one to take the hit for you? That's what's happening right now.
Well, I can answer her question.
Go ahead.
Not Jewish. She wasn't Jewish. If she was Jewish and got gunned down by 6 illegals, it would be, I mean, we were still hearing about it. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. But she wasn't Jewish, because that's all that seems to matter right now. When people get, it doesn't matter if it's a white person, it doesn't matter if it's a black person, but we know what makes the headlines. So, to answer her
Hi,
question.
Sophia.
Hey, Sophia.
Welcome in.
Doing?
Welcome in the room.
We can't hear you. I can't hear you. We can't hear you.
She's muted. Unmute.
To be fair, I was having a lot of connection issues when I was first trying to get on too. So maybe she's having the same problems I was having.
It's probably something going on with X because last week we almost couldn't get on. We've been having problems as well. And I heard other people say that they're having problems, technical issues also.
I said, or everything, every time I say something controversial, they'll cut it off.
So I'm like, what?
Yeah,
the
you
hell?
said the word that you are forbidden to say. Yeah, I mean you could go to jail for that, Trivian.
And then look, it stopped.
Okay, hit another clip.
Okay, so now we can see hi Leroy and Mr. Xavier.
Hey, you.
Now we can finally see the comments because before we couldn't see the comments at all.
I hate to ask this question. It's long overdue. For over a year, real Chicagoans, white and black, have been telling me that your Black Power rhetoric
is definitely some games. You want to talk? Not to say I like your content, but if you want to come on a Fire podcast, come on the Hood Conservative. We'll do the clip.
I hate to ask this question. It's long overdue. For over a year, real Chicagoans, white and black, have been telling me that your Black Power rhetoric is bringing the city backwards from a place that
we need the question
had overcome. You want the question?
Please.
Real Chicagoans want to know, why are you a racist?
Well, first of all, I reject the idea and the premise that somehow that's an actual legitimate question.
The next question, my follow-up question is a businessman, Robert Gomez, had his riverfront restaurant license yanked. You said that the reason you hire black people is because they're the most generous race on the planet. His riverfront restaurant license was yanked and given to a black restaurateur. That has, once again, reinforced the belief among real Chicagoans, white and black and Mexican, that you are a racist.
They was on him heavy.
White on rights.
Got him good. And I'm glad that was put on blast in his face, because that is what's happening. Lori Lightfoot, we thought she was going to be the worst mayor of Chicago in Chicago history. But Brandon Johnson, he's ignorant. He's and he's got all his little black friends running around Chicago. And like this man said, they took a white business owner's license and gave it to a black person. And that is what Brandon Johnson can do. Whether it's positions at the Park District, it doesn't matter. It's like he's just placing everybody so he doesn't have any opposition when it's time for him to run for re-election, which I hope that, I would take a daily if we could get the dailies back. But that was a big moment in Chicago when this guy put Brandon Johnson on blast like this, because as a black person who sees what he's doing in Chicago, he was absolutely right.
I'm glad to see Chicago is standing up and fighting back, with these really double standard ass politicians that they have been electing, especially, when you're talking about Mayor Brandon Johnson, who made it his business to go out of his way to help the illegals, get whatever it is they needed. But look at Chicago and how he has let down his district and his constituents that voted for him in the first place.
He was a teacher and on the school board, and the school board is the biggest, most powerful union. The teachers union is the most powerful union in Chicago by far. It's like if they shut down and don't want to teach for 6 months, that's what's going to happen. Teachers union, and then black people got him elected. And like I said, he's put so much dirt behind the door. pulling people out of positions, putting in people who aren't even qualified, but just gave him donations. I know he appointed somebody to the Park District just because they helped get him elected. And I guess, in a certain way in politics, that is the rule of thumb. But at the same time, you got Brandon Johnson, who's an idiot, placing people who are bigger idiots in positions that, are supposed to make Chicago work. And, it's just a catastrophe. G, pull up another one, will you? Mark, maybe it's not. There it is.
Those two cases obviously are of significant public interest. I'm just telling you what we see in the file. I just want to be crystal clear on this. I am not asking anyone to believe me. I'm telling you what's there and what isn't.
Right.
There is nothing in the file at this point on the Epstein case, and there's going to be a disclosure on this coming shortly. We are working through there is video. That is something the public does
There's video of him killing himself.
No, not the actual act, but the entire MCC Bay was only one camera. There's video that when you look at the video, and we will release, that's what's taken a while on this. We are working on cleaning it up to make sure you have an enhanced, and we're going to give the original so you don't think there were any shenanigans. You're going to see there's no one there but him.
Right.
There's just nobody there. So I say to people all the time, if you have a tip, let us know. But there's no DNA, there's no audio, there's no fingerprints, there's no suspects, there's no accomplices, there's no tips, there is nothing. If you have it, I'm happy to see it. There's video clear as day. He's the only person in there and the only person coming out. You can see it.
So
it's the video. He said he don't have anything. Where's the damn video?
He is a buffoon. He is a buffoon. And so is everybody else running this whole fake Epstein campaign. It's not that people think that he wasn't in there by himself. The problem is we don't think that he was in there at all. Jeffrey Epstein was working with some of your most world-renowned scientists creating his own species of human. Okay? So we don't even know who was the person that they're saying was even in that cell. Not to mention the strangle marks that they said were not the same size as the CPAP. I mean, the sheet, and he had the CPAP cord. I mean, the video footage was shut down. The security guards were sleeping. I mean, it was just the perfect recipe for anything to happen. And we're supposed to just believe these people on the television that, they don't have the evidence. And if we have any tips, who's going to give him tips? He's getting this information from the FBI. That's as high as you can get, supposedly, for information, this type of information that is not disclosed to the common public. So what is he even? He's saying these things because he knows that no regular person can produce this evidence. So we're going to have to rely on whatever the garbage is that they give us. No one's believing him. He's lost all of his credibility. I mean, it's we are watching this.
I think that's why they chose him. They chose Dan because they think that we just gonna fall for it. Mm-hmm. He seems believable. You know what I'm saying? They're just looking at that influence. They're looking at how many people that's been watching him on Rumble. Yeah, it's like we're stupid. You know what I'm saying? When they got those first influencers at the White House and they was holding them binders, they made sure. I was like, why is Scott Presser there? He's about early voting, but they're trying to influence and use these influencers to make us think that we don't remember shit. We don't remember everything.
I think that we have come too far as people. We stopped believing all the shit that the media has been telling us and training us to fucking believe. People are becoming, people are woke. Okay, they are woke the fuck up. They're doing their own thinking. People are doing their own research. We're going through YouTube, Rumble, comparing those podcasts like this, and people have finally arrived to the point where we are willing to do our own thinking, and we are not just ready to sit back and believe the fucking hype. And now it's not the time We have been lied to for decades, centuries, and everything else. So it's time for people to really wake the fuck up and stop believing what we are seeing and hearing, and do our own fucking research about a lot of this stuff, because like you just said, Ariel, who in the hell even knows if this man was even in the cell in the first place?
Yep.
And when you got friends in high places, come on.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, you got video of everything else but him killing himself. And we all know
that part.
You've been in the system. They have cameras looking directly into the cell,
Everywhere. Yep.
At 24/7.
Not with him, because everybody just happened to be asleep.
Yeah, they said it was sleep. Oh, the camera wasn't working. Now you got video. Shut up. Just shut up.
It's bullshit.
Just shut the hell up.
But meanwhile, everybody got their attention on Diddy.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, everybody focusing on what Diddy got. Raid his whole house, take every single bit and drop of evidence that he got, and he don't want to be next. He's in jail. So if he start talking mess about all the people and everything that he know, he gonna be Epstein. He gonna kill himself. But all that hype when they were saying he didn't kill himself, and all of a sudden, he did. Straight up, look us dead in our face, tell us that he did. I'm just done. I'm just done with all of it. I'm done with all of them. I'm done with Congress not acting. But the thing that I just can't understand is every single day you see Diddy on TV on trial. Every single day. But we don't hear nothing else about this. This ain't on the news. Where's it at?
No.
They just lying.
No. Because everybody went to sleep and they don't recall whatever was going on at that particular time. Okay? Everybody was asleep. The cameras weren't working. And that's what it is, and that's what we were supposed to believe. Okay.
It's both sides. It is both sides. When I think about, I'm 100% Trump. I'm 100% Trump.
Hey.
Look at my man. What's up?
Hey, Sophia, what's going on? I'm 100% Trump too.
What's going on? Look, I'm just here, just came in on the right note. This whole mess with Epstein, and they're trying to sell us bullshit through Barigno. Nobody want Bongino. What is his name?
Oh, Bongino?
Bongino.
Well, yes. Cash Patel. You notice how they built up that hype? They was telling us to make sure that we get him in, to make sure we get cash in. Yo, cash is the man. Cash is the man. I'm like, who the fuck is he? I've never seen this man before in my life. But all of a sudden, every single influencer is telling us that we need to get cash in the spot. Then both of them gonna come out swinging with lies. Whatever.
With his cross-eyed ass. Look at Cash talk. He looked crazy to me. I can't listen to anything he says because he looked crazy. So no, I don't trust anybody that Trump appointed. Not a single one of them, not a single person. I don't care who it is. I don't have to like them. I don't have to have hope in any of them. I don't. Because we keep seeing this uniparty situation. We keep seeing the lies. We keep seeing the games. It's like you got to let go. I'll let go.
I look at it this way. I mean, the Epstein stuff, I really honestly, I really don't care too much about that. I mean, obviously he killed himself. I'm sure the reason why they're lying and saying, okay, we even know it's Bongino and Cash Patel got in that room and they said, well, you say this, we gonna do that. They had to change up that story right quick. But what I think for all of us, even with the whole, downing of Doge, which I said months ago, Trump and Elon were not gonna last to the end of the year. Was I not correct? I was absolutely correct. Because at the end of the day, our government's corrupt. We have no term limits. As long as we don't have term limits, our government's going to stay corrupt. We're going to always have all the government waste and the spending because they all get kickbacks and all kinds of pork barrel legislation and whatever off of that. So that's what that's going to be. My message to the average American is get your money, because guess what? The only insulation from any of this bullshit is having your own money. Be as less dependent on the government as possible, because the corruption, unfortunately, it's just never going to end, because we're never going to be able to come together enough to get these people out. Because when we talk about term limits or whatever, they're going to say, oh, George Floyd, or oh, trans kids, or oh, whatever these, culture war things are, and that's the trick. That's the trick to keep us divided, because really black, white, old, young should come together and expose this corrupt government, but we're never going to do it, because at the end of the day, if Trump is for something, then I got to be against it. Kamala's for something, I got to be against it, and they know that. So I would just say to anybody else, I'm not even racking my brain. I'm not surprised about Epstein. I'm not surprised about any of the corruption, for real. Get your money, do you, because you only got 70 good years on this bitch, and make sure that you got your shit.
Nope, 105.
It's always going to be corrupt.
Oh,
105.
one of my clients just passed, and she was 104 years old. So God
Like
bless her
104.
heart and her
Yes.
soul, and she was such a sweet lady.
The Bible
But then
promises.
Benji, I gotta ask you this. It's gonna be 250 years of 1776. Niggas, and I'm saying niggas, I know there was a little bit of us and a little bit of them, but I'm just saying back
the
then.
country started in 1609, according to the New York Times.
I'm talking about when they started to say that they was going to reject shit. No, I'm talking about revolution. I'm talking about the July 4th, the Independence Day. When we gained our independence, it just took a few ass people to say something. When I saw what they did with January 6th, I was like, you know what? There was thousands. I'm not even gonna say thousand. It was like people was uploading cameras, and it looked like no vehicles could move through DC on January. They couldn't. It was just too many people that was mobbed down there, and then they used them as an example. They didn't give a fuck. Old, young, shot somebody. They was not trying to allow us to get loud. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what that was in 1776. That was people that was getting loud. They don't want us getting loud, but we're going to be loud against each other for all the ass backwards bullshit.
Yeah, already damn loud.
Here,
we pass loud right about now. I mean, if you watch
when we're going to get physical.
People just going the fuck off. So they pass loud. Loud ain't even in the quotation anymore. Nora said, hello, ladies. Can y'all talk about Alice Johnson pardon czar?
We definitely gonna talk about her and Larry Hoover and why young boy, and you know all the people that she pushed through. And I was at the concert with Kanye and Drake when we had a free Larry Hoover concert. She came out, she spoke. So I knew for certain with her being appointed into that position that Larry Hoover was going to be coming out. He has a state case, which, you know, was running concurrent. Hopefully this ignorant mayor that we have will talk to our governor, J.B. Pritzker, and they will, you know, go ahead and allow him to be free. I mean, right now, you know, Larry Hoover got to be, what, 75 years old? What game is he going to run do? So we'll see what J.B. Pritzker and his fat Fred Flintstone ass will do.
Well, one thing I will say about all these pardons is I've been seeing all this. I'm going to sit here. I'm just going to be honest. I don't know all the stories of what happened with Larry Hoover and all these people that are being, you know, released or whatever. But one thing you can say, whether we like it or not or whatever, you can't say Donald Trump's some white supremacist who hates black people. I think we can just let that go. We can let that go.
Yeah, we like
that's done.
We like past that part.
And I was in, you know, in the shade room and on site and all the black blogs yesterday, and they would say, you know, and I just wanted to see what they were going to say. Like, I want to see how are they going to make this racist? How are they going to make this bad? So
it went to Derek Chauvin.
Right, but then right. They're saying, oh well, he's just doing this to prepare us for him letting off Derek Chauvin. First of all, hello, Derek Chauvin's murder charge is a state charge.
State case. Right.
State charge.
That part right there.
It's not something that Donald Trump can do anything with. That would only be Tim Walz. And we know Tim Walz ain't going to do it, thank God. So no one else is going to do it. Leave this shit alone. Let Trump love on black folks and let black folks out. And other people too, like the Chrisleys and the whatever. One thing I will give Trump, as big as Trump is a celebrity and all that stuff, Trump has to be like the most accessible president I have ever seen in my entire life. I mean, I've been to Trump Tower. I've had meetings with Laura Trump. Little old ghetto ass me. You know what I mean? And so like...
G, can we go to a clip while Benji is on break?
He froze.
Yeah, that's why I say he's on break. So can we go to a clip? Oh man, this was horrible right here, y'all. This one is so fucking horrible.
So this woman and two other men, those two men that you see in this photo, sold this little girl to some South African supposed healer because they wanted to cut out her eyes and cut off her skin. And
her mother sold her to
for
them.
for $1,100 US. And they still haven't found this little girl's body. You know, when it first happened, she was getting all this sympathy. You know, they had this beautiful little girl's picture everywhere. And then after they figured it out, you know, this woman and her two accomplices, their drug sold this little girl into the jungle, and they cut out her eyes and cut her skin off. And they finally sentenced these three. Yeah, her mother. So
her mother is the same color with the same color eyes. She should have sold herself.
Why did she give herself up?
Damn girl.
She had more, she had more skin. Yeah.
They should have took her too.
Oh my God, that is so sad. How
really
how do you
sad.
live with yourself? But that was in South Africa, actually. But it's like, how do you even live with yourself? South Africa. It's like, how do you live with yourself knowing that they gonna be cutting on your baby girl, cutting her eyes out? You know, it's just like, you know, I don't know. They should have.
And they only talk about that
poor child.
They should have.
It was albinos before. Do y'all remember back then it was albinos? They were saying they was chopping their limbs off and they're using their skin to cure AIDS to make them invincible. And that was supposedly in the bush. This is South Africa. Like, I can't. It's just how a mom gonna sell her child.
No, so Ariel, someone asked, "Are you on Twitter?"
Yeah, I am. It's AZen03. I don't know why I can't comment on this computer. I'm gonna try to do it from the app on the phone.
You can do it on the app on the phone. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I just thought that was such a sad story. Such a sad story.
Yeah. Yes. That's AZN03 for you, Mr. Xavier.
Also, roll another clip.
Have you guys heard about the have you guys covered the whole ginger thing?
Oh, that?
Tell Papa Happy Father's Day.
Mama, you ain't video.
No, I'm not videoing. I just want to know why you don't want to tell him Happy Father's Day. I don't understand.
Because because on Father's Day, that's a special day for your father, and you don't want to represent him. On Father's Day, it's representing all the fathers on the world, and you don't want to say Happy Father's Day. I said Happy Father's Day to my dad to represent him, and you don't want to represent your daddy. That's being ugly to your dad.
No, I'm going to tell him Happy Father's Day, but I want you to tell him too.
No, that's weird. We ain't sisters. I'm telling you, yeah, y'all are sisters. Y'all could tell each other Happy Father's Day to your daddy, but I ain't going to because that's not my father. My papa.
Okay.
These babies have personality.
She has been listening to folks because that's not a kid conversation. I don't know who she's been around, but whoever it is, they hate men, and she's been listening to, and it's inside now. Thoughts. She's been shown this just hate for men, and it's in her, and I'm sad about that. Even though this was funny, I'm sad this little girl has that, you know, inside her at that age.
Well, you
and
find
it's America.
That. But you find, but to me, I feel that that's where you find little energies like that, the little energies like her. Like, you go to the hood, these little girls,
are very outspoken in the hood. They're very outspoken.
Yes, because they're around nothing but adults
Grown
and their
people doing grown people stuff. And they're 24/7 being grown as hell. And, you know, like when we was coming up as kids, you couldn't stand there when grown people was talking. At least in my day, you couldn't. We had to go to the room. You couldn't get into that conversation because they'll slap you in your mouth, you know. And you couldn't say words like lie. You was not allowed to say anyone is telling a lie. You had to say stories. So now we're in a whole different day and age, you know, with people that say, well, I'm not going to raise my kids the way that my parents raised me. I'm going to let them do what they want to do, basically. So that's what
Isn't
we
she a COVID baby? She's a COVID baby too. Like they be coming out cussing people. Like what the hell was all of that about?
Y'all COVID babies.
No, I'm talking about people. Like there was a lot of mothers that went and got vaccinated. And I'm like, these babies is walking at a time when I was like drooling and shitting on myself still. They walking and grabbing stuff. I'm like, these young ones is built different. There's something different about them. And I mean, like the level of intelligence and insight is mad crazy. That's why they know they can get away with it. Because the minute that you yank them up, they gonna call the cops on you and give a detailed complaint.
Now, Benji, what were you saying?
What was I saying? Oh, I was talking about, what was I saying?
I don't know, but it went like this. It went like wop, wop, wop.
Oh, not wop, wop, wop. Oh, no,
I think you was at the talking about.
Pardons. Yeah. I was saying that, you know, with all these pardons, I don't know the story of all these guys, the Big Meech and Larry Hoover. Of course, we all know the song, but, you know, I don't really get deep into the drug culture and things of that nature, so I really don't know. And I'm out from Chicago. But the one thing that can be said, Donald Trump is not a white supremacist who hates black people, okay? Like, we can just let that go, put that in the trash, like, put that in the garbage, let's go. And what I was saying was that...
You hear that, Jasmine Crockett? You can drop that, because that ain't selling with us no
Cory Booker.
I mean...
Cory Booker, Hakeem Jeffries.
Right, everybody's tired of them. Right, they're all pushing this trash, and it's just not true. Right, it's just not true. And what I was saying was that Donald Trump has to be the most accessible president ever. Like I done had meetings in Trump Tower with Laura Trump, just ghetto ass me done had them. So I mean, the fact is he listens to people. You know, he's not perfect, but clearly he wants to try to make as many people happy as possible as he can. And he's not this horrible white supremacist. And when I was on the Shade Room and everything, reading and seeing what they were saying, they was all like, "Oh, well, he's just trying to prep us for him to pardon Derek Chauvin," which also Derek Chauvin's the murder charge against George Floyd is a state charge. Donald Trump cannot do anything with that charge. He cannot do anything with Derek Chauvin. Let it the F go. I know they want to make Trump look at me so bad. Oh God, he's a racist. Let it go. Trump is a good president. He's winning for the American people, and y'all can't take it. I don't know why. Why would y'all not? Like, why would they not be happy? I don't understand. Why are they so miserable? Y'all want black men out of jail. You say that the criminal system is too hard on black people, which Donald Trump has actually said before, but he gets no credit for any of that. So it's ridiculous. I'm glad, though, that enough of us are seeing the point. Enough of us are seeing what he's doing and not being fooled by the foolishness. And Jasmine Crockett, Congresswoman Eyelashes, looks crazier and crazier and dumber by the day, because as we've all exposed here, that ain't even her real personality for real. So really, she makes fun of black people and black women, especially. Just like I brought up the point about how she was doing that whole TikTok dance on reparations. This hoe ain't putting no reparations on the floor, so you doing TikTok dance? Where the legislation at? And black people aren't outraged by that. If anything Trump do is an issue, it's ridiculous. But I'm glad Trump is doing this. I don't know the backstories behind all these people, but clearly there's a lot of people that want them out. Alice Johnson's for it. So, I mean, I'm guessing from a little bit that I do know that it's a good thing. But at least we can say, above all, he's not a racist who hates black people. Let it the fuck go. Right. It's not true.
Or, Floyd Mayweather came through, slid in, Sarah, for his son-in-law.
So can you like pardon Snowden? I would like to see Snowden. No?
Exactly.
Listen, he didn't pardon Julian Assange. He didn't pardon Julian Assange either. And these are things that I don't think people should gloss over. Like Julian Assange, like the reason that Trump got elected the first time was because Julian Assange let everybody know about the Clinton emails. I mean, Trump won off of that. And then for you not to pardon him is skeptical. I mean, just it doesn't make any sense. Things are not lining up.
Snowden let us know they were spying on us. Snowden let us know that the NSA was all up in our business.
Exactly. So why not pardon these people?
It's the same reason why Epstein killed himself. You know what I mean? It's the same reason. That all wraps in together. They don't mind, Big Meech, Larry Hoover, and regular little Negroes. That's fine. You can pardon them. But when it starts messing with the deep state, it becomes a problem. Wait a minute. We can't do that. But Big Meech, Larry Hoover, all them other people, sure, why not? Whatever. They don't care. You know what I mean? But that's why.
I really think what these pardons right now just have a lobby behind them. Like if you're going to get there, 91,000 applications for pardons. Okay. Literally, somebody has to advocate for you to get a pardon these days because it's just not they're going to pick a Joe Smo out of a bucket of 91,000. If you're going to get a pardon in this day, it's going to have to be with a lobby and somebody advocating for you. It just doesn't. They're not pulling numbers. So these people had Floyd Mayweather, powerful lobby behind YN Youngboy.
It has to benefit.
Kanye,
benefit them.
Larry Hoover and Alice was at the Hoover event, so I knew Larry Hoover was going to get a pardon or his sentence commuted, which is what happened. But it's all about a lobby right now because if you look at Joe Biden, 6,000 pardons, and that's an astronomical number never even heard of. I think Obama had 1,300, but 6,000 pardons all came with the lobby. They all came with money behind them. And that's really what's happening right now with these pardons.
Yeah, because it has to benefit the system. The system has to be able to get the glory of doing this. It has to be on some type of, not necessarily celebrity, but it has to be within those confines. It's give and take. The government does not do anything for free or just because they are lovely. That is historically proven. So they have to get something out of it. Unfortunately, you're not going to see anything happen with the justice system. Trust me, I know. I was an idiot. Did not have a lobbying group, did not have a celebrity status or anything behind my name when I went out there and I was speaking about what's happening to these prisoners. And they get to just crush you when you don't have that support. So they're not going to go out on the limb for a regular dad that maybe probably didn't actually rob a convenience store. They're not going to do it. And that is just the sad reality of the world that we live in. It's all Hollywood.
So play a clip, G.
That's how I see it. Now I have somebody.
That one.
Not that one, but
Little Richard had to grow up watching her. That's all Little Richard right there. She was the first.
Wow.
Yes, indeed. Miss Rose
Still alive? Is she still alive?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was like, let me run up on her real quick. if she was still alive, I would love to just have her meet with different, you know, people who are classic rock celebrities. I think, you know, it's good that Mick Jagger is doing this biop on her.
Yes.
I think, you know, if I knew she was still alive, I was like, shoot.
Okay. Nora put in the box that the auto pen is not legit with Biden.
Agreed.
Stuff going on right now. Trump talking about the auto pen. It's like, what are we going to do? Why are we just going to talk about the auto pen? Is anybody good? Who's going to find out who was signing all these bills and pushing all these bills that supposedly Joe?
Somebody said it was Elizabeth Warren, but I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, we haven't seen a single arrest. He's in jail. Nobody's doing anything. We're getting tossed around by judges. So, you know, all I see is weakness right now. It's unfortunate.
They run things. They trying to run things.
All I see is weakness. I just see weakness right now. I don't see, and you know, all this money that they found with Doge. Nobody's, you know, on the chopping block. Nobody's even been accused. You know, and then we got, speaking of fraud, Oprah Winfrey and her Coat Drive Foundation. Yes. She actually bought 140 coats for $310 million. So I'm hoping that nothing might not even happen to Oprah. You know, this is like the crazy thing. Nothing is happening to anybody. And which is making me understand that everybody from every angle, they're all in this shit together. There's nothing. The only thing that matters to me is just getting my own money. Because with my own money, I don't give a fuck what any of them have to say or what they do, because I can go to a fucking island somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, that's why I'm like, okay, all of you are bullshit. I don't understand. I don't want to hear any more things that you found. You know, the sandpaper wounds are already heavy. So since there's going to be no problem.
Yeah, I guess she got stalled again. So G, play a clip. Are you back?
She frozen now.
Yeah, she's frozen again. Oh, she's back.
Am I frozen?
But yes, Trivian.
Yeah, you moving.
But when you said, and what you said was 100% accurate. You haven't seen anything come to fruition. Everything that was promised, all of these hoop dreams, all of this stuff that all of us were told we were going to get, we haven't gotten anything. Down to Elon's Doge.
Yep.
The check that everybody was supposed to get. You know.
Yeah, where the $5,000 in?
Where is it? Where's the money? Show me the money,
Show
right?
me the money, honey.
I'm still getting text messages.
And I mean, while he does have a bit of company to run, I don't appreciate the fact of how they are treating him as probably the person who helped Trump get elected. I'm hands down, he's the biggest donor. You know, he's the biggest donor. Definitely was just like incremental with getting Trump elected. And the situation, like you said, Benji, it wasn't going to last. You know why I think it doesn't last? Because it's smarter than
Benji, you got something beeping. I think you need to put on your seatbelt.
You know,
oh, my bad. That's my seatbelt.
Yeah, thank you, Benji.
My bad.
Sounded like a smoke detector.
Yeah, because you know they saying black people
right. You
don't know how to change their batteries in the smoke detector.
But yeah, it's like he could be in the room. It doesn't matter what position they were holding. You know, pleasantly, you know, moving out of government. I still need to know, or people still need to know outside of what we see, what other influences and what other properties that he has added to this current administration. And I don't want him to just walk away like that. There's no honor outside of we the people honoring him. There's absolutely no honor for Elon right now. And I think that's bullshit, because I know for a fact if it was up to Kamala Harris and the Biden administration, we would all be censored. None of us would be able to talk about
Lord.
That came from Elon. Elon single-handedly helped Trump get elected. And that's some bullshit because he single-handedly did it. There's nobody out there that had carried more weight in this previous election than Elon Musk.
This is where Elon fucked up. Where Elon fucked up was simply here. He fucked up with the PR. I think Elon was a lot like how Trump was during his first term. I'm gonna just go in and I'm gonna just change stuff and I'm gonna just do da 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 because I'm Elon Musk. And he very much realized, kind of like what Ron DeSantis, who is being a little bit of a hater, said the other day, like, you know, he ran against the swamp and the swamp won. I think where Elon really fucked up was when they were first talking about Doge cuts, how like kind of cavalier he was about it with the tweets and things like that. And that allowed the media to make a narrative like he doesn't care about people, and they were able to build off of that. And also I think that he didn't realize that even before Trump, you make electric cars. Your audience is liberal, sir. Did you really think you were going to piss your audience off with so much and not feel that crap? Because I'm not a fan of Elon Musk, as I've said many times. I'm a truck driver, you know, by trade. I'm never for anybody making electrical anything. Anybody all that electronical, all that stuff, I don't like you. So if you're not for the diesel engine, I don't like you. So I was never in for Elon Musk, but that's where he fucked up at. His attitude, because you have to understand, a government is a popularity contest. You have to win the media, win news cycles every day. And he lost so many news cycles for Trump and bringing in, even with the whole Nazi salute and all the other dumb shit. Not saying he did those things, but you didn't go through the media the right way for them not to paint that narrative. The media came in and ruined him, and he fell for it, unfortunately. But as far as Congress is concerned, as I said on Newsmax the other day, until we can elect a new Congress, until there are term limits, there will always be corruption. The Congress is never going to vote to defund itself. Not happening.
Right. That's
Congress,
right.
You're literally putting a gun to their own head. Because you have to think about it. All this waste and fraud is not just waste and fraud for the sake of waste and fraud. Remember, if I'm in Congress and there's some study about shrimp on a treadmill or whatever, and it's somebody I know, I can give them, they get paid off of that.
That's
so,
right.
you know, you give me this, you give me that. It's all that works in together. It's all about the corruption of Congress. 90% of our problems would be solved by term limits. That's why we have to do, you know, trans kids,
exactly.
and because as long as we're all fighting one another and doing this, we're not looking that everybody in Congress is on bullshit. Great example. I remember when I was younger and I saw the video of Michelle Obama, Barack Obama on the plane with the Bushes. I was shocked by that because I thought these people are racist.
Yeah.
George Bush was like, how are they all chilling together?
They called them.
I remember finding out that Bernie Sanders and Lindsey Graham are like best friends. Like these people, like you have to understand, these people have been working in the Capitol for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. These people are friends. They go out, they chill together. We're the idiots thinking out here fighting one another when they're all on the same team. So I think that Elon didn't understand being Elon and doing whatever he wants and being able to be an asshole and the richest man in the world. But you ain't gonna get in there and just tell that Congress what you think you're gonna do and think it's gonna go like that. It doesn't work like that. Like
he thought we had his back though. He thought the people had his back. When you go to them Trump rallies, that energy, he did fall for the hype. He did believe the hype, and he thought that he got that.
He didn't have the people's back in the way he went to eliminate those jobs. Like you can't be people are losing their jobs. You can't be on some like, oh well, fuck them, they're getting fired, because then the media says, oh, he's a billionaire, he don't care about you, and they made him public enemy number one. I mean, the good thing was that he became more of a lightning rod for Trump. So a lot of the stuff that Trump would normally get blamed for, it went to Elon. They got a new enemy because they kind of got tired of Trump. But ultimately, Elon let his ego and his hubris get the best of him, just like Vivek did, actually, in the beginning of this whole thing. He let his ego get the best of him. And when you're doing something, you're eliminating jobs, you got to always kind of have that PR to say, look, this job has to be eliminated. We're doing this for the government. You have to treat it with kid gloves. You can't just be cavalier and just and legislate by tweet. Like, that's how Trump learned. Trump learned that first term, and Elon had to learn it as well. So, I mean, I knew this wasn't going to work forever. I knew Elon was going to get kicked out. Elon's been losing Trump to many news cycles. I knew this wouldn't last forever. But unfortunately, until we can get together, liberal, conservative, black, white, gay, straight, young, old, trans, regular, and be able to
Somebody said
get these people out of Congress.
Lindsay is just a glorified queen.
What happened?
Lindsay, somebody's in the comments. Jay said Lindsay is a glorified queen.
I mean, everybody knows that about Lindsey Graham, and they say it too about the other South Carolina senator. What's the black guy? You know what I mean? My thing is, I don't even care about whether you gay, straight, whatever. Just don't be corrupt. My thing with Lindsey Graham, more than him being a closeted homosexual, is that he is an ardent warmongerer and has never seen a war that he don't fucking like. That's my issue with Lindsey Graham. I don't care whether you gay, straight, taken, whatever. Who cares? You're just corrupt.
But Benji, I don't want to cut you off, but I gotta circle back.
If we don't ever
I gotta
term
circle back,
limits,
Benji.
never, like, for example, I would love for us to get together and say, look, we ain't voting for you unless you vote for term limits. Everybody. Like, imagine if all America's voters said that, where we would be. It'd be a beautiful thing, but can we ever come together to do it?
No.
Benji, I gotta ask you a question though, if I can, please. Now that we had Elon, all of us said that we don't trust Elon.
Get your money up and do you. Get your bunker, get your money, do you, because the government's never going to do right by you. It's never going to, unfortunately. I like Trump. I think Trump's great. But, you know, end of the day, I can't depend on Trump either to do whatever I got to do for myself.
When are we going to ask questions about what was Elon doing for himself?
I'm not wasting my time with this bullshit.
Elon was up in our government now. When have we known Elon to do something that wasn't enriching himself? My thing is this, is that if he can't get anything done, and now he's walking away from that, he's had a full scope and looked at what everything had to do with what's going on in the country that he runs. And I say he runs because now he's got all that information. Nobody up in there knows if he done stuck something in there to watch everything and to gain something from this. I don't see Elon as a magnanimous person. He doesn't just do something just to help people. He did something and he showed us a lot. He showed us a lot that got enough of us convinced that there's something that needs to be done. But now that there's nothing that's going to be done, what's he going to go do with that? I'm still trying to figure out what's he going to walk away with. He done saw who those checks was cashed to. He know who was getting paid for them circumcisions on the other side of the world. He knows all of that. So what position has he put himself in by figuring out where all of that extra money was going to? We're not even looking at whether or not we're in a worse position now with having somebody that has the money and the he has too much and now we've given him more because he was helping Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like and Trevion, I don't know if you remember back when he first bought Twitter, Daily Wire had that first Spaces, and they were talking about anti-Semitism on X, and he went over to Israel. Everything just seemed mad suspect. It just seems that everything is just interconnected in a way that we're not even paying attention to. Because now that Elon is walking away, he done saw everything. He knows who's exposed. He knows who's not going to do anything about it. Where can we expect him to not look at what's in it for him? What was in it for him? Was it really for us or was it for himself?
No.
Just like you said, we got to get our money up. What's in it for him is where I'm still at right now.
Well, he's got the most government contracts. SpaceX has the most government contracts than anybody. So, I mean, he's fully funded. So, I mean, it's nothing for him. And Doge, that program is now implemented. So that's running. That's a running AI tool that's running. And basically all it was to getting rid of the dollar and ushering in the digital world. That is essentially what the end goal is. We're getting rid of the paper, and he is introducing the digital world, which means that's why he wanted those bodies out of those buildings with those jobs, because they don't need them. They can just have a computer system. They can have AI. They can have all of that running. So of course, none of these people are doing things because they're good people. Those people don't get hired. Those people get murdered. You know, like the president in Haiti, he got killed, because he rejected what was going on during COVID. He wasn't letting vaccines and all that stuff get in. He protected the people, and what happened? Dead. That is, those people don't survive. If they're alive, then they're going according to, I hate to say it, but it is what it is, the New World Order. And that is where we're going. That is the direction that we are in. And I don't see how people don't see that all of the players, just look at it, guys. Trump just completely shit on Zelensky. Any opportunity he gets, right? Completely. But we were assisting them. We were giving Ukraine money. but he's dabbing and high-fiving Putin's person who we're fighting basically against. It's all a show. America and Russia have been fighting in every single 80s movie that you can possibly think of. It's all propaganda. It's all, like I said, it's all Hollywood. It's all for entertainment purposes. Listen, I knew that humanity was not going to come together when I saw what happened. When COVID happened, it was the worst and best thing that happened to us, right? Because most of us woke up and really realized, like, wait a minute, come on. This is not about a virus that jumped out of a bat into a person. This is a systematic takedown. This is shutting everything of reality that we do down. That's over with. They're implementing the new world to us, right? So you had everybody communicating from all over the world. All races are talking to each other. We're not talking about no racism. We're not talking about none of that stuff. We're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, right? And then as soon as it was time to find a new president, everybody just switched. Like that. It was like the activation. They pushed that activation button and got us off course, broke the unity. We're not thinking about what they all did to all of us simultaneously at the same time anymore. We're not thinking about that. We're thinking about Joe Biden and Kamala and Trump and Elon. We're going all these different ways, like something's different. And we didn't stay focused because the fact that we're not talking about, I don't want to hear nothing else about nothing other than Fauci going to jail, Bill Gates going to jail, because these are the culprits that, and don't get me wrong, they're just the people that they're putting in front of us to take responsibility for what happened during COVID, because there are so many entities involved. I mean, the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, you've got the Pentagon, you've got all of these different entities that were involved in COVID and our whole world being changed, all those small businesses being crushed, Amazon, Walmart, just turning into monsters and prices all going up. You're trying to figure out why is a lamp for a table $80 now in Walmart during COVID, you know, but the mom and pop shops are all gone. You know, we completely just lost all sight of what just happened to us. Because what these people, all these politicians, they use hypnosis on us. And I'm not talking, and I'm not trying to be hocus pocus, but I'm talking hypnosis is real. We all know that, right? Like, it's not like some fake stuff. They do it with their hand gestures, with their speeches, with everything that they say. It's all hypnotic. It's all hypnosis. And we fell for it. You know, humanity fell for it. And I feel like if we just got back to the surface, like, why are we talking about anything else other than what happened on 9/11? Because that's actually when our world really, really changed. That's when we got Homeland Security. That's when we were getting paid everywhere. When you need a passport to get on a cruise, to go to Canada, to do anything. We were not living the way that we normally were living before. And we know what happened. Where's the footage of the dancing Israelis? It existed. Fox aired it, but now it's gone. You can't find it anywhere. And if you don't know who the dancing Israelis are, it was a group of guys, I think it was about 4 or 5 of them. And a woman was watching the towers when the planes were crashing into the building. She was looking out her window and she saw a group of guys dancing and taking filming and footage and everything before the planes hit. And they have Israeli systems. I did a video on it if anybody's interested to go look at it. But they had an artist group inside of the World Trade Center before it all blew up. They had the Israeli Mossad in there doing security detail, all of these things before 9/11. And then they got to blame it on Muslims. And we're still dealing with the same thing. We're still dealing with the same thing with the relationship with Israel. We're all witnessing a genocide taking place with Israel, and it's being funded. And we're talking about ridiculous things, you know. And all of these things pertain to us. I just feel like we lose sight so much, and it's just that constant. They got to hit a dopamine that give us that little temporary dopamine shot, and you know. give some stupid little new headline about Trump and Elon fighting like that's real. You know what I mean? And then you just keep forgetting what's really happening. And you know, for me, that's why I don't even like to go to Twitter spaces anymore and stuff like that. Because when I start hearing people just talking this rhetoric, this scripted rhetoric, it's like an echo chamber. I just want to just throw up. Because it's like, are y'all serious? They just shut the whole fucking world down.
They didn't shut down Belize because there were no cases of COVID in Belize.
They shut down Mexico either. And you know, I got a farm in Belize. I bought a farm in Belize during COVID, and I bought this house in Mexico during COVID because I love
the best. We didn't have any of that, you know, CNN death ticker. We didn't even know what was going on in the rest of the world until we looked at Facebook or Instagram. And when, like I said earlier on the show, when I got back to the States, all y'all was crazy. Everybody was just out of their minds. Like, I'd never seen anything like that before. Like, everybody around me was just stupid, like in fear. Like, I was walking down the sidewalk on Lakeshore Drive, and I didn't have a mask on because I refused to wear a mask. And this lady was coming down the sidewalk, and she had a mask on. She walked out into the street on Lakeshore Drive and got hit by a bicycle, trying to avoid me not having a mask on. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the whole world was just out of their minds. And I felt like I was in this, I Googled like 4 days before they shut the country down, where has there not been any COVID found? Belize came up and I was out. 4 months. I was out. And I saw, you know, I would get on Facebook. My friends had on Grove drinking wine at 8:30 in the morning. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with y'all? Y'all don't have no ambition. Y'all don't, like, everybody was down. Everybody was down. And I'm thankful I missed that episode in the beginning because I saw what it did to everybody.
Me too.
I was in New York during 9/11 and COVID because I'm from New York. So I was in New York during 9/11 and COVID, and it's just, I think with 9/11, I think for the biggest scandal behind 9/11 was the fact that Larry Silverstein was able to get that insurance on the Twin Towers like 2 seconds before them shit got blown up. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
If that were me or you or anybody else, that'd be real sus. But for that, that's just, you know, all right. So I think that people just don't want to believe that their government would set them up to be killed, you know, because that's essentially, you know, what happened in such a way, or at least what's being alleged in such a way.
That's what they did. We ain't crazy. That's what they
That's why Kanye's being loud about Hitler. That's why Kanye's being loud about Hitler, because the theory of the big lie. That you got to think about it. As you live, me and Laverne is probably same age or distance apart from each other. We got black people out here talking about nigga hail Hitler. I hope they start reading, start looking up why would Kanye back Hitler. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would he do that if there was not something? People gonna act like Kanye just lost his mind. Kanye been Kanye. You know that, Trevion. He been Kanye.
It's funny how you mentioned how Hitler thing, because, you know, I'm from Brooklyn. You know, Brooklyn has a you know, is the headquarters of the you know, the curly haired, you know, Orthodox Jews, 770 Eastern Parkway. They're like international headquarters or whatever. And I remember a pastor when I was younger, I ain't gonna say his name, but a pastor was talking and he was saying he grew up in the projects, and like when they used to have problems, you know, because they used to be like issues, you know, with the blacks and the Jews in the 90s and Al Sharpton and all that stuff, whatever. And he was saying during that time, like black kids, like little kids, or little Jewish kids, they'd be like, "How Hitler," just to like fuck with him. You know what I mean? Like, so when I think about Kanye in that song, it brought me back to that. You actually had like little black kids in the hood who would go up to Jewish kids and say little random things like that. I never really had a problem with the Jews per se, because like I said, being from Brooklyn, I grew up in my elementary school was like right next to a yeshiva, so we used to, you know, play and talk with the Jewish kids or whatever. But I think that the biggest thing with Kanye and with the whole, you know, anti-Semitic conversation is the conflation between Jewish people, regular Jewish people, the Jewish government, the Jewish state, and like Benjamin Netanyahu. You should be able to criticize the Jewish state or Benjamin Netanyahu without saying, I hate all Jews. These are all not the same thing. And I think what they do get Kanye, and unfortunately he's not the best explainer of this, is they try to make it like it's all one thing. Because even Kanye going, DEF CON or Jew, what DEF CON is Kanye going to go on? Has Kanye ever killed anybody? No. It's like, it's ridiculous.
It's all one thing. It is all one thing.
Yeah, I got you got frozen again.
They rubber banded you today, Laverne. They trying to keep us quiet.
We ain't hear nothing.
I know.
We ain't hear nothing.
I'm like, I'm trying to figure this out. Like, if all Jews benefit from Jew policy that takes away our First Amendment rights, no, it's all one thing. You can't separate it when they all benefit. And that's how I designate how I want to say what I want to say, because I look at the picture. Oh, all y'all benefit from it, even if you're not a part of it. It's like what Malcolm X said: if you got one snake out of 1,000 snakes, what you gonna do?
And also, when speaking about those shots, right? I'm gonna share this with you all. I don't think we have the footage, because I don't know if I sent it, but I found the footage, right? This lady, she's a nurse that works in the hospital. And she wanted everybody to know that if you come to the hospital for anything, whether you broke a toe, sprain your wrist, your ankle, no matter what it is that you go to that hospital for now, they are giving people COVID shots. They not even asking you. She just giving them to you. And you know what? I know that's true, because last year I broke my toe. That's the first time I ever broke anything. I broke my toe, went to the hospital, and only went because my toe was laying across the other toe, and that's how I know I broke it. And I just pushed the other one back. And I told my husband, I'm like, hey, I think I broke my toe. So we went to the hospital, right? Guess what's the first thing they're going to ask me? Have I had a COVID shot? I'm like, what the fuck that's got to do with my damn broke ass toe? You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
so after they told me they just was going to take the two of them up together, because it was really nothing they could do, I said, I could have stayed my ass at home. You know?
That's
So
why
the
I
next
had
time,
my babies in a business. I had my babies with a midwife in a freaking business office, not in a hospital, because I was not going to the hospital because I knew what those people were trying to do. And not to mention, during this time, because this was 2021, they still were kind of up in the air. Like at the moment that I was like getting prenatal treatments and stuff like that, they were saying at the time dad could be in the room, but they were saying it's subject to change at any moment, because they were denying fathers from being in the delivery room, y'all. Not for like a C-section or nothing like that. Because of COVID, they were denying fathers. So I said, oh, no. Nobody's going to tell me when I'm in labor that daddy can't come in the room. So that's why I just white knuckled it and had twins all natural on the floor, because it was no way I was putting myself through that. And I knew that they were going to shoot him, because I knew they were going to give him the injection, whether I said no or not, because
that's what they doing, y'all.
So if you go, that's why you don't have a COVID baby. That's why you don't have you have a normal child.
I had twins. Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, no, they're perfect, because I didn't let them put their hands on them. They never even been in the hospital. They never been to a doctor. Nothing. Y'all women, y'all need to know that y'all are powerful. That breast milk is everything. And
yes.
You do
long as it don't have no crack in it.
That's true. You don't want to be cracking.
What you mean? That crack make the baby strong. You know how strong crackheads is. That crack make that baby strong. Oh, strong baby.
Laverne put up a great post yesterday showing her food drive at her food bank. How many?
I saw that.
A month, you know, she does it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Woman 25 of her year helping people who help people as much as Laverne helps people. will sometimes need help and not ask for it. So I'm asking all of you, if you support Curly's Food Bank, they do
Yeah, we
a
need
bona
the help.
fide, yeah, they do
need the
a
help.
bona fide justice for so many people every single month. And if we had a government that would support Laverne and her services for people, we wouldn't have to do this. And we shouldn't even have to ask, because it's proof
Right.
of how many
'Cause
people.
let me tell y'all something. These seniors really need the help. They really, really need it. They
Listen,
really need it.
I should be providing their glasses. All of them wear glasses. I should be providing all of the glasses.
That's right. They need glasses.
Yeah.
They need food. They need hearing aids because they can't hear shit. And a lot of people that can't hear nothing don't even know they can't even hear.
No, nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Like we should be all collaborating. The people who are actually really trying to do something. If somebody can, my situation with me trying to move stuff at all. And by the way, I'm selling my property in Mexico if anyone's interested.
How much? How many is it an acre? What is it?
You know, they do it in different measurements. So
Wow.
I'll find out exactly what, exactly. I have to figure out what it is, but I have my house that is a 3-bedroom house, 5 bathrooms, and a rooftop deck, which I'm on right now. And I have the other
water.
Hmm?
Are you near any water?
Yes. There's a lagoon on my rooftop deck. You can see the lagoon. And you're literally 5-8 minutes away from a beach, and it's beaches on all sides. I'm in Veracruz, so we're right off the Gulf.
Oh, thank you, Benji.
It's water everywhere.
Yes, I was gonna say.
I see you. Thank you, Benji.
I can't see
it. All adds up, y'all. It all adds up.
Yeah.
I can't see it, but yes. So if anybody says if I can sell this place, then I don't need nobody help. I can do what I gotta do on my own.
Right. No, send me the specs on.
Okay, I will. I'll send it over to you.
So somebody asked, is Diddy going to be found not guilty? What's the story?
Well,
well,
as far as I can see,
right now,
I don't see the Rico.
Because he's a freak, and people get to be freaky.
Okay, y'all, I got a question, right? This what I want to know. I want everybody to be able to hear me. Okay, the girl that testified, where Travian went to?
You know she keeps freezing. She keeps saying.
Oh, you back?
Jesus.
Okay, the girl. It was the girl that testified, right? Now she said that Diddy's penis was the size of a Tootsie Roll.
Right.
That's what that girl said. She said it was the size of a Tootsie Roll, like the little small Tootsie Rolls, that the little one, right? Like this. Not the long Tootsie Roll, just the little short little Tootsie Roll like that, right? So if that's the case, then why is it that every video that he showed that he's in the room with the guys, all you hear is hollering and screaming?
Well, I think more than likely he probably does have a penis size issue because he's always with these guys and he's doing the whole cuckold thing, and the guys, because all the guys, if you look at the pictures, then none of them look alike. It's just they all, I guess, allegedly have large endowments, and that he enjoys watching that, and watching that on Cassie. And I never understood.
So you saying it don't be him in the room, it was somebody else?
Well, yeah, because he gets the guys to have sex for her.
Because I can't imagine a Tootsie Roll causing nobody to be screaming away.
Well, or needing baby oil. Like, what you need the baby oil for?
He's a voyeur. He's so watch it. As far as I've heard, he's a voyeur. So
yeah, he likes to watch.
Yeah, he don't seem like he's participating so much physically.
So
well, that explains a lot then, because if you rolling with this, you might as well just look. I mean, now I believe it.
I mean, he definitely has penis envy issues, so I wouldn't be surprised, because it seems to be that's like what he goes for. You know what I mean? Like that seems to be like what his individual kind of kink is in a way. So I wouldn't be surprised if he did feel like he was deficient in that area.
I find that all of these characters that they give that type of access and fake power to all have some sort of sexual issue, low self-esteem, and they're typically monsters. I mean, it's like a prototype that they give that kind of power and access to. So they know what they're dealing with. I wouldn't be surprised. My whole thing is, why is that don't even matter. You know what I mean? Like what he got going on down there. We're kind of trying to see what the organized crime organization that he's running and who's running that and who's whipping that, and let's get those names of the entities that are allowing this type of behavior and access to take place, which has not come out. It has not come out, you know, like the people who are actually letting this happen, like the people within the police departments that are letting this stuff go on, the people, you know, with the security detail, the banks, you know, all of these, those are the answers, and the people.
The witnesses need to be in jail. They saw all of it.
I was
sit there and be like, I'm a victim.
I mean, it's sad, but Diddy's done a lot of wrong to a lot of people, so I feel like he would deserve jail time just for all the bad he's done to people. But them trying to prove that RICO charge, I don't know about that. Like, it's not really giving me criminal enterprise yet. It's giving me freak and rapist and all those things. You know, he's definitely done a lot. Like, you know, even going back to the Stampede in 1994 at the City College and all the people he did wrong with the record. Like, Diddy's done a lot of wrong. So karmically, he would deserve to go to jail. Karmically, but legally, I'm not seeing this criminal RICO enterprise. I don't see that yet. I mean, they got time. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be 8 weeks. What's this, like second, third week? They got time. Maybe there's a bombshell coming down the road somewhere. But I'm just not seeing them prove this as this RICO thing. I think they got crazy when they discovered RICO and just put RICO on everybody. Everything is RICO. Yeah. I don't think everything is RICO. And
if they're gonna take him, they might as well take most of Uptown Bronx. Because in high school and dudes was doing all of that.
But this is SDNY, and SDNY don't play, and they have a 98% conviction rate for a reason. So maybe there's something they got that's coming down week 6 that's going to turn this thing around. I don't know, because normally SDNY don't mess with you unless they know they can win the case. They don't like being embarrassed. SDNY don't play that. So maybe they know something that we don't know. They're getting us primed for something.
One thing I know about Diddy,
it's looking like Diddy could still walk.
Now, let me just tell you, Diddy, as much as Diddy is the devil, Diddy is a gangster. Diddy is in all of this because he's seen from the powers that be. Diddy is not dumb. When you put Diddy up against the wall, Diddy gonna show out. Don't ever count Diddy out. And I'm just gonna say that, being in the industry, knowing he's the devil, but the devil is a player too. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't ever put Diddy against the wall and count Diddy out. Because Diddy done sent copies of all them celebrities and all them politicians to his mama, to his cousins, so whatever they got from behind the wall that Cassie snitched on, Diddy ain't gonna leave it in the house when the house can catch on fire. Diddy ain't dumb, and they playing against a gangster because he learned it from them. So that's what they playing with right now.
And you know,
R. Kelly too.
Because
R. Kelly, they was down. They knew what he was going on. Everybody knew what R. Kelly was doing. All of them.
R. Kelly would not
people that was in the studio.
R. Kelly would not be in jail if he would listen to me. I tried to send his ass to Africa, where they don't care what age a girl is. Let this shit die over. He was like, oh no, Trey, you know, I don't want to fly over. He didn't want to fly. I'm like, look, you got to let this die down. I was dealing with crisis every week working with R. Kelly. I said, look, the only way and then you will make more money in Africa too, because they love you more in Africa.
Yes.
Look, go to Africa. He would not be in jail to this day if he would have listened to me. Now, let me go back and say why I'm saying what I'm saying. All those girls' parents were involved with this R. Kelly situation.
Yes.
So parents need to be in jail too. Okay. So I'm like, when everybody a part of it, all the girls is grown And all these girls that had NDAs that the money done ran out, that they done got paid, they getting approached by different reporters and saying, hey, you know, we'll pay you if you do this, or we'll give you a TV series if you do this. We could have avoided all of that should he taken his ass to Africa like I said to him, and like I tried to send him. And so that's why he's in jail. And he will say that to anybody to this day. He will say, I should have listened to Trey Trey. That's what he's going to say.
He thought it was going to be fair, though. He thought it was going to be fair. If you think about it, for weeks we saw Candace Owens saying the worst about Jews, but then now she's supporting Harvey Weinstein. I'm like, how is Harvey Weinstein not guilty for the same things that a lot of other people is doing? You know what I mean? Like, they always get the loudest mouth to say what's contrary to what we've seen with our eyes and what we're hearing. But I wish he would have listened to you, because you are so right. Every person that I knew that was in the studio with him saw the kids running around in underoos, and it did not stop them from getting their money. Nobody.
Underoos.
So when they use people, underoos.
Let me just tell you, all those girls were legal when I was working with R. Kelly. Every last one of them, they were getting new wigs, new shoes, new dogs every other day. Okay, everybody.
I'm talking about R. Kelly broke. R. Kelly with the mittens with the fingers cut out, underoos. And I wish I could put my friend on blast, and I won't, but he was one of the ones that was in the studio with him. You know what I'm saying? None of this, Diddy, none of that is brand new to me. None of it's brand new to me, because you've seen it. I've escaped it. You know what I'm saying? It's what they do. And that's just that part of it. You can skip on over to the Slick Ricks that was dealing with minors. You could deal with, oh, damn, I put him on blast, didn't I? Oops. But I'm just saying there's other people that was up to no good. Orange Juice Jones, oops. Did I say that, he was up to no good? It was their life. They always called it the life. If you in the life, you know what I'm saying? And that was one of the things that I see right now that they're revealing is the life, the same life that Ted Kennedy, when the homegirl was saying that she was raped, and they were like, no, she didn't get raped. I'm like, when you think about Do the Right Thing, and it said Breonna Taylor was telling the truth, people just don't pay attention enough to recognize that when people start, that's why Malcolm X is gone, because he started to see what was going on. JFK recognized to see what was going on. MLK, anytime a prophet comes up to try to reveal stuff, they either got to just let it go or end up dead. You know what I'm saying? You got to let it go or end up dead.
It's true. But I think that the thing that other people are also not realizing is all of this is just to take their catalog. One thing that you can always see is that Black entertainers, they never have legacy wealth. Like a Black entertainer themselves will have a lavish lifestyle for a moment of time and everything like that, but their children and their grandchildren, not like how the Elvis Presley's got generational wealth. It doesn't dribble down like that. Black musicians and artists and things like that, that doesn't happen. So they have to make sure that that bloodline is cut off. So all they're trying to do, like R. Kelly's catalog, they just taking his catalog. Diddy, they just want his catalog. That's all that it's really about. They don't care about children being abused. They're abusing children. People who are taking him to court are abusing the children. They were allowing Diddy to do it. So it's not real. All of this stuff is just for your entertainment. That is what all of this is. It is for entertainment purposes only. And that is the truth of it. But they are not going to let that legacy go. Same with Bill Cosby. Me Too movement was created specifically for Bill Cosby. Specifically.
Someone is at front door.
No, it wasn't. Because I worked for multiple people. I worked with Kevin Spacey, Chris Brown, the team for Bill Cosby. It wasn't built for just Bill Cosby. It was built. It was time. This was built over time, and they executed.
I agree.
This never for Bill Cosby was to in Hollywood, And it had to do with more people than just Bill Cosby. Trust me, they had a plan for a bunch of people. That's why they came out like.
I can refute that. Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. I 100% definitely. Because it was a whole. They had let a lot of Black people get in. You know what I mean, making a whole lot of money. So I know that it was a whole empire that they had to take down.
Ugly woman on the face of the planet. Face of Me Too, because she's the ugly. There's not a more ugly woman in the world than the woman that they made, the Black woman that made the face of Me Too.
Trivian. And you know what? It's so crazy, right? Because it's like I try not to go after people's physical characteristics so much because like I don't want the backlash, people saying that I'm trying to be whatever. But this is the truth of it. She is a very, very unattractive, like unusually unattractive. Like she's not just like
ugly
and
the ugliest woman on the planet.
But check it out. Her story is what let me know that it was bullshit. Okay. Her story is that she was sexually assaulted. She was raped when she was younger. Okay. And years had gone by. And she became this advocate or whatever, you know, fighting for women who have been sexually abused, yada, yada, yada. And she went to this cookout. And when she went to this cookout in New York, she saw her rapist at the cookout. Found out that he was married. He worked for the police department. She knew all of these things. But yet, she did not Me Too his ass. Now, you would think that the founder of Me Too would have been blowing all the horns for her damn self, but she's only blowing the horns for celebrities and people with a bunch of money. So that's when I knew it was all bullshit. But the reason that I said it was for Bill Cosby, I guess because Bill Cosby meant so much to the Black community. Bill Cosby was the reason that Black kids thought they could go to college. Like, you know, he made it possible for us to know that, you know, like you can have a successful father, a successful mother, and they're together, and you know, you gotta love.
Wasn't he trying to buy NBC? He was trying to, from what I heard, he was trying to get NBC. No,
one of them. One of the networks. I can't remember.
That was the Black people's excuse for why they came to Bill Cosby. He was never trying to buy.
I'm about to say
which network it was.
Reverend Jake.
So I just want to shout out Jay, because Jay said, look, older white women in here watching, older white woman in here watching y'all. So I want to shout out Jay. Jay, thank you for watching.
Jay.
Yeah, but
that was Jay say, what about Rev Jake?
Who's Rev Jake?
TD
Jakes.
TD
Jake. Oh, TD Jake.
Oh, Jay.
Oh, yeah.
He turned the Potter's house over to somebody, so he's like, look, let me just get out before this shit blows up. So
his daughter.
Yeah, he's doing the Russell Simmons. He's pulling a Russell Simmons. They thought they talked too loud about him. He's like, you know what? Overseas is looking righty mighty nice right about now. I'm out. Russell Simmons come back.
That's what they all should have did. But back to Bill Cosby, it was wrong. It was so like they took all of his accolades away. Okay. Yeah. Then they even took his syndications away. That was the only Black representation that we have to show that we're not buffoons and we're not just comedics and we not just ignorant as shit all the time. It was the only representation that was all over the world. Everybody around the world watched the Cosby Show, but none of Harvey Weinstein's movies got pulled off. All of the streaming sites are still streaming all of his movies and his series and all that kind of stuff. Only Bill's stuff got taken away like that because he gave a real impact to show that Black people ain't buffoons. And that's why it was so crucial to take Bill's stuff down. Bill's stuff, it wasn't, and listen, I'm not saying that Bill wasn't doing stuff. Like, all of them Hollywood people do that shit. Like, I don't care if you Black, white, whatever. That's Hollywood. That is everybody knows what the casting couch is. It is not racially defined. If you have power, if you have access, if you have something that somebody wants, I don't care what you are. If that's what you want, people are going to give it up. People are going to do it. And it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop with Diddy. It's not going to stop with people hearing about. It's not, because you're going to always have predators. That's just what it is. It's unfortunately an aspect of human nature. But the Cosby Show being taken down was crucial for Black people. That the fact that representation is now gone, it was a really, really big deal. And not, like I said, Harvey Weinstein, all of his stuff, Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, everything. And listen, these are movies I love. I love a lot of Kill Bill stuff because he produces all of Quentin Tarantino shit, and I love Quentin Tarantino. But it's still there. It's still being streamed, and we cannot act like this is not. They got arrested for the same exact thing. And in fact, Harvey Weinstein still in jail for it. Bill got out and nothing came back. They didn't roll it back. So even if he didn't try to buy a network or whatever, it's very clear what they were trying to erase. It's the same thing that they did with history. It's the same reason why forever we believe that we came all the way from Africa and they piled millions of Africans on top of each other to bring them over here for free labor. We believe that story for a long time, y'all. A long time.
That one never resonated well with me. And it's just sometimes when you sit back and think about it, you say that shit don't make no sense. Just some of that shit just don't make no damn sense. And it's just something in your spirit be like, something is not right about this.
Because it's a lie, but statistically, financially, however you want to look at it, because these were businessmen that were the colonizers. They were all for industrialization and businesses and all that kind of stuff. Financially, that wouldn't have worked. It would not have worked. You have to feed those people. You have to feed them. You got to have fresh water. You got to be able to do that. This little cartoon animation that they tried to pass off that happened to us for our history just physically was impossible. It was impossible. But even if it be impossible, it still is our American history to this moment right now, written on paper. It still is. People still believe it. People want to go back to Africa because,
Well, it's just like people that still believe that Biden had the Black community best interests at heart. And we know that's a lie.
What is it?
Some people are going to believe whatever they want to believe at the end of the day.
It reminds me of when they always talk about like, Trump want to bring back slavery, these white folks want slavery. Why the fuck would anybody want slavery? Because again, like you had just said, Ariel, you gotta like feed these people, take care of these people. They're gonna be trying to fight you and have slave revolts. Even with the ending of slavery when it did happen, they already had the slave revolt 1803 in Haiti. People knew slavery was not going to be sustainable long term. They knew that it was coming to an end. Anyway, even if England had done it first and we did it, it was going to come to an end because it's like, imagine you having a workforce of a whole bunch of people that don't want to work somewhere. You ain't going to get the job done. So if you have a whole bunch of people out here that being forcibly labored, that can't maintain forever. So when people say they want to bring back slavery, why the fuck would white folks want to bring back slavery to deal with your ornery ass? For what? Like what is that going to do for them? Especially now when they talk about, the migrants coming in and picking fruit. Fruit is picked by machines. Migrants are coming in and getting tech jobs, H-1B visas. What the fuck are y'all talking about? It's like, what planet are y'all on right now? So yeah, that whole idea of the slavery and all that is totally unsustainable. And I hate when I hear black folks say that dumb shit like Trump want to bring back slavery or whatever. That makes no financial or physical sense at this point. And I always ask too, so Trump bring back slavery, niggas, you going? Because you sound like you ain't gonna put up type of fight. Like, y'all, he gonna bring back slavery. Okay, I wish a nigga would tell me I'm a slave. Bitch, I ain't no fucking slave. I'm not going no fucking where. But y'all supposed to be so goddamn tough. You niggas are supposed to be so tough, but y'all can't stand up against if the white folks say you going to slavery, niggas, you going. That's always my question. That whole thing. But of course with black folks, anything to be a fucking victim. Anything for us to be a fucking victim, we just hold on to that so much. It makes no sense.
G, on that note, can you play a clip? Mark. One of y'all.
Trivia Frozen.
Oh yeah, this shit right here is crazy.
That would not have been me.
Lord.
That would not have been me.
Christian rally that was.
What the hell was going on?
It was a Christian rally, right? And they was blocking the lady with the baby from moving forward at the Christian rally.
Why?
I don't even know. And
they
I don't
miserable.
even know what kind of Christian rally that was anyway.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. What the hell is that?
I
They
don't
wasn't
know.
about that action for real, because I wish they had tried that at the church I grew up at. We would have threw hands and whooped somebody's ass and prayed about it later. Amen. So I don't know what that was. I don't know why.
Let the church say amen.
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 Didn't say I'm not the one nor the two. Amen. But
Amen.
it reminds me of that other remember the other rally they had? It was like a Black Lives Matter rally, and it was like this lady had like, I don't know if it was Black Lives Matter, it was some type of leftist rally, and a lady had a baby, and they was screaming in the baby face, and the black girl came out,
Yes,
screaming that baby
I
face.
saw
Remember
that.
They don't care about kids. They hate kids. They abort kids.
That
So
was
I'm
like,
not
was
surprised.
that? I think that was like at a Planned Parenthood event
Something
or
like
something.
that. Yeah.
And
the
the
black
lady
girl
had the
got in the face,
baby,
like,
and
"Yo,
the
why
white
you yelling
girl
at that baby?"
came up there screaming at the white lady with the baby.
Yeah.
And the black girl was like, "Hey, you know, this is a kid. Get out of that little child's face."
Yeah. So I'm not surprised. But this, and the LGBT, they do this bullshit. And they wonder why nobody don't like their ass. This why nobody don't like y'all ass. Y'all do this dumb shit. Like this why nobody don't like y'all ass.
Always
like
got
this,
some dumb shit going on that they want somebody to co-sign
today.
on to.
Right.
That's some real bullshit. You know what I'm
Today,
saying? That makes absolutely no fucking sense.
At all.
Like that little skinny ass Dylan from the Budweiser commercial. They talking about, isn't that just the most beautiful lady that you ever seen? First of all, that little skinny bitch ain't no lady. Second of all, ain't shit beautiful about him. What the fuck? You know, it's just like they tell us any damn thing and want us to sit back and agree with that bullshit. You know,
just today there was a
that's
post
the dumbest shit ever.
Just today there was a post that the newspaper here in Philly, the Philly Inquirer, put out, and they were talking about how the University of Pennsylvania, the health system, is not going to do transgender surgeries for anybody under 19 because of what happened with Trump or whatever. And I commented said, well, maybe, just maybe, we shouldn't be cutting our junk off before, we are of age. Like, and I said, if trans is so important to you, this is such a thing, then why can't you just wait till you're 18? And I said, nobody talks about a detransitioners, people who did this at a young age and regret it. Nobody also talks about the profit motive. These hospitals make millions and millions and billions of dollars because when you do this whole trans thing, you're a patient for life. So between the hormones, and the corrective surgeries, and all that stuff, there's a profit motivation. So mind you, I laid this all out very nice, very not, whatever. And the LGBTs, they go attacking me. And how do you know what trans kids need? They all, and it's like, this is why nobody don't like y'all ass. This is why, because you can't even have a rational conversation. I'm not even a hater on the LGBT. Look, if you grown, do what you want to do. Yes, your body, you grown.
But leave them damn kids alone. Leave them kids alone.
Can't. And then yesterday, another post, Philly Inquirer, there was an issue because they were talking about, the drag queens reading the kids. I asked one question. I laid it out. I just said, why are drag queens so obsessed with reading to our children? Kids. And the replies on Instagram, they was going crazy. How you gonna say that? You're home. But why are drag queens so obsessed with reading to our damn kids? Like make it make sense. I've been to a drag show before as an adult. It's very much drag comedy is sexual comedy. It's a sexual, not sexual titillation, but they make, penis jokes and vagina jokes. And it's adult comedy, which is fine for people who want to be grown and be an adult. I remember there was a scandal.
There are adults.
Because Carrie Lake went to a drag show. If you're grown, you can go to a drag show. You're grown. But it's not for children. What I don't understand is that why are the LGBT, why y'all pushing it on kids? Then when y'all push it on kids, then you wonder why people think you a damn groomer. Now, how you gonna call R. Kelly a
Because
groomer?
misery
They
loves
that,
company.
But you can't call the drag queens a groomer. R. Kelly a groomer? The drag queen's not a groomer. That's not grooming. Why would you then put this in front of children? Why can't they get up? Because if your kid is gay, they gonna let you know. You ain't gotta usher them into the gay. Okay? If they're gay, they gonna
Not
come to you,
these
hey,
days.
I'm
Back
gay.
in the day, they
what
used
I
to
mean?
be quiet and they didn't want nobody to know. You know what I'm saying? It was a secret thing. They didn't want nobody to know back in the day. Now everybody want everybody to know. You know, you out in the public, you see 4 and 5 year old little boys twisting and shit.
Crazy.
You know, with blue hair.
Crazy.
With
Crazy.
blue and
Remember,
yellow
it used
hair
to
and all
be
kind of shit.
it wasn't a choice. You were born that way. Now it's a choice. Now it's encouraging. Now they're saying that you don't have to be one way. Now you can explore. It's the devil. It's the devil. Misery loves company. And one of the things that they never tell you is that all that scar tissue, y'all ain't gonna feel nothing. You ain't gonna feel nothing in your nipples. You ain't gonna feel nothing down there. You ain't gonna feel nothing anywhere, possibly for years. So when they are vexed that they went ahead and got all this surgery done, they are the first ones to be up there glorifying it, making it seem like they're happy. They are miserable. That's why we don't nobody like the ass, because they are miserable. They try to cover it up by saying that they're happy. It's bullshit. And it's just the kids, though. I don't understand. It's like they want our food, and this is like it's spreading. Just think about how much of that USAID money was going across the globe to push that agenda. So it's like whoever's behind it wanted to be something that's worldwide, global, to the point that they're putting that in our children. It is taking us into a direction that ain't got no kind of godliness, no kind of honesty. The dishonest way of nothing. It's soulless, and misery loves company. They are unhappy, so they want other people to be unhappy. They want to rip in Connecticut. They just passed the law that allows minors to get birth control without parents' permission. That's the type of thing that they're doing. They're like robbing.
When you're talking about minors, what age are you exactly talking about?
12 years old. They can get 12 years old, 13 and up. Now they can get birth control from their school or from any doctor without their parents knowing. They can get an abortion without us knowing. And I'm glad all my kids are grown because they don't have to worry about that. But I think about it, we're going to have kids that are not only are they taking, pushing them to take the opposite hormone, now they're pushing them to take a pregnancy hormone at such a young age that estrogen is not going to be. It's like they're going to end up wanting to have sex, but can't get pregnant. It's so weird. It's like, I don't understand why. And when I think about it, I can only think that they know they're going to burn in hell and they're going to take as many of us with us if we allow it. They're unhappy. They're miserable. They ain't got nothing good going on.
They need therapy. They don't need to transition. They need some extensive, and I always ask that question, like, well, what exactly is the process when you're doing that transitioning thing? Like, it should be a situation where they have a certain amount of like therapy, and I'm not just talking hours. I'm talking about a whole process of therapy where you come to a place where this is what you want, and then you go through therapy to explore like what it all entails. And I mean, this should be an extensive thing that should take a long time before somebody would even go ahead and agree to chop off their penis or put a penis down there where it wasn't a penis. Like, I mean, I would be very interested to see what that process.
I think it's coercion by the parents. Because remember, why does every celebrity have a trans child? Like every celebrity got one. I think people doing it because it's a cool thing to do, and I think a lot of it is being pushed on by the parents. It's like the new Munchausen syndrome. Parents are pushing this. My thing is like, look, if you grow and do what you want to do, why are you? Again, they couldn't answer the question on Instagram either. They were attacking me. Why are y'all so pressed to do this to kids though? If this is real and you really feel that way, you got the rest of your life to feel that way. Be grown and feel that way and do that. Why press to do it now? You're not even in puberty. You don't even know what you like yet. What if you just gay? What happened to just gay? Just be gay. Like, why you gotta go and switch and be something else altogether? If that's what you are, that's fine. We had Monique Worthy a couple of weeks ago. We know she's trans and everything. That's fine. Monique Worthy's grown, and Monique Worthy knows where she came from, what she is, and what her gender is, and all that stuff. But you're pushing this stuff on 5-year-olds. My 5-year-old feels like a boy, feels like a girl. Come on, your 5-year-old don't even know that to say that. That's the parents, and it's weird and it's sick. And the parents do this because they want attention. They want to be cool. This was makes them cool. They have all this attention now on them or whatever. And it's Munchausen syndrome. It's how people back in the day, some of the mothers would make their kids sick and do things just for attention. It's the same type of thing. It's Munchausen just with like a sexual twist to it. It's sick. If they're going to be grown,
like Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle. Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle. I'm like, Dwayne Wade seemed like somebody that's really trying to hide behind some shame, but he trying to puff up and just act all like he accepted. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Dwayne Wade, his boy, wasn't he about 13 years old when he started transing out too? And they made sure that they got him. He was young, and they were throwing modeling contracts at him. They was putting his face everywhere. And I'm like, he's so young. But they allowed it. They always allow it. They always allow, because the younger that they get, by the time they come up, it's going to be nothing left that has what we would call normal. We're not going into like a normal future. I'm going to be in a hospital, got to be worried about people uploading me to TikTok when I'm old and leaned over doing all kinds of wild stuff, because that's what it is. It's like, I always said that the minute that they came out with the eye line of everything, Matt, iPhone, it's just all about me, look at me, look at what I'm doing. There's not enough to satisfy or satiate that appetite for attention. And it's just going to keep getting worse. I don't even know what's going to be next. But I know that these pedophiles are starting to really push that limit, and they've been pushing the limit. Just been a little bit on the DL when you talk about The Graduate and Mrs. Robinson, when you talk about American Beauty and all of those ideas, and when you talk about Matthew McConaughey and Dazed and Confused. They've been putting it out there for the longest time that the predatory attitude towards children is something that's kind of normal. Like you said, it's Hollywood. Hollywood been telling us and been showing us, but now it's like the art imitating life or the life imitating art. It's like there is no more line. It's just all blurred, and they blurred that line with YouTube. YouTube made it worse. TikTok makes it worse. And all our kids were stuck in the homes with their computers during COVID, watching all this mess on TikTok and everything else. And now here we are. And ain't nobody talking about it. Now all of a sudden we're not going to ban it.
And every show, because all these shows, it's a man that's got a man, a woman that's got a woman, you know, and they and the commercials now, you got to see two men kissing or two women kissing. They just want to normalize their whole situation so they can have kids getting comfortable with that and, you know, scenario like it's really okay. Now, as a child and a minor, if they cannot buy no cigarettes till they 20, you know, 18 or whatever, they can't go into a club. They can't even like read a Bible in school, but it's okay for you to go to school and say you want a sex change.
Oh, and you know that they took the Bible out of the prisons, and I believe it was, where's Higgins from? I think it was like Mississippi or someplace like that, because he would go and Clay Higgins, he would go into the prisons and talk to the prisoners and different that like that. And he had to basically sneak in a Bible to use when he was in there with the prisoners, because they had taken him out. And this was during COVID too. Because, you know, it was always Bibles and religious literature in the prison. So I was shocked.
Of course. The Quran
when I
and
heard
everything else.
Right. Right. So they took all those things away. In fact, that's where you go to hotel now. It's not a Bible in the nightstand no more.
Nope.
No more.
Nope, it's not.
No more Bible in the hotel.
Yeah.
No more Bibles in the hotel. I haven't even noticed that.
Yeah.
You get a notepad and a pen. That's it.
So, G, do you have another clip? Oh,
He got mushed, Benji.
I see he got mushed by that man.
Oh, I saw that.
Look at that man.
And you see he turned and tried to be like, no big deal. Yeah, okay. We seen it. He got bullied. He got bullied by a boy on the schoolyard. That's what that was.
But wait a minute. Now, I didn't go into detail with all of that stuff with Macron, but did Candace Owens say that it's not only a man, but it's his father?
No, it's not his father.
What?
It's his teacher. No,
Okay.
Teacher.
It's his teacher, and basically what she's saying is that the teacher took one of, I believe, like his sister's identity, because they had a sister who died when she was a baby or when she was young, and basically he assumed the sister's identity. Yeah, so that's how that all happened. He assumed the sister's identity, because his real name is something Trogno, something like that, and he assumed the sister's identity. And the thing is that nobody has refuted it and said it's not true as of yet. And it was great. Again, back to the grooming. Now, if this were anybody else, if this were the other way around, it was a 25-year age difference, wouldn't we be having an outrage and, oh my gosh, it's grooming, or whatever reason they build this like this is a love story? Isn't that odd? It's funny how it depended on what side, because I can tell you this, if it was Georgia Maloney or if it was a conservative leader, they would definitely have an issue. Okay. Georgia Maloney had her little young boy, they'd have a fit and a half. Look at her. She's grooming. So why is it that not this lady, man, whatever the heck, grooming
So
the
Benji, the radical Republican is saying at first they said it was the teacher, but then went deeper and said it was his father. Because I heard that they said it was the damn father.
So whose father? Macron's father?
His father. Yes, his father. Yes, that's why I was asking, like, this kid, right? And I swear, because she shows a picture of the father, and then they show the picture of the representation of the wife that we see. So, and they saying yes.
If that's Macron's father, then where did Macron's father go? Did Macron's father die then? Like, how are you able to, like, what they do with Macron's father then?
I don't know. I don't know. So radical Republican, is the father supposedly dead? I'm hoping that
Jerome, I say Jerome and House.
because I do believe that.
Jerome, you hear that question?
I can look it up. Hold on, I can look it up. Hold on. I can look it up and see if his father is still alive.
Because if that's the case,
that's just disgusting.
They would have had to do something with the father's identity, just like they did with the other little girl that he supposedly took identity of, because the little girl died. And his daughter's in on it too. Her daughter is in on it.
He said he has time that he's unaccounted for.
Oh wow.
They just around here being ratchet.
Yeah, that's the part that I haven't been able to get past. Like, wait a minute, it's not just man.
Since we're here, they have that conspiracy theory about so many other wives. They say like a lot of these powerful men, their wives look like men. Like even Chuck Schumer, they said that about.
God,
people they say that about.
She looked like a rough man.
Barbara Bush
looked like a rough old man.
Damn.
So
he said that's when they sent Candace the cease and desist letter.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. When she said that it was the daddy.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been away too long. That's crazy wild. Oh.
Yeah. I wish Trivian was here right now because she gotta know what
well, we know Melania woman, okay? We know Melania girl. So hey. They talk
but some of them other things look real iffish.
They talk
and
about
very strange.
Her
Barbara Bush.
Whatever. At least we know Melania.
Yeah, she look rough.
So At least we know Melania's
And
a woman.
and Donald Trump looked just like his mother, like just like, and I mean like, cause she looked like a boy. He looks just like his mother, just like. It's scary. It's scary.
KG, do you have one more clip? Mark, one of y'all.
We got through all of that, didn't bring up Michelle Obama.
Wow.
Big Mike.
I mean, do y'all really think Michelle Obama is a man for real? I haven't seen enough evidence of that.
It's not Joan Rivers. It's what Joan Rivers said.
It's what Joan Rivers said.
I hate Obama as much as anybody else do. You
Me
know what
too.
I mean? But I need
Me
more
too.
of that. I just feel like, because I have seen pictures of her younger, I need more. If y'all gonna say, now I will say the little girls do like that couple. Now I'm not gonna lie, the girls do like that couple. They do. But I need a little bit more for me to go off.
Sperm produces children. But you have to think about, they said that with Joan Rivers, that she had went in for plastic surgery not soon after she had said that Michelle was a tranny, and that's when she just died doing what she'd been doing all her life, getting plastic surgery, but all of a sudden she dead.
But like, because for example, the way Candace broke the Macron thing down, I will go and I will say, okay, yes, this is a man.
I'm with you on that.
With Michelle, there's not enough evidence to me. I mean, look, I need more. I'm sorry, it's not me trying to be an Obama stan or a simp or anything of that nature.
No, I'm with you on that,
baby.
I'm with you on that because I say that to a lot of people too. You know, don't get me wrong, I'm all for the jokes. It's hilarious to me.
Yes,
all that is real funny. And even when she did the interview with the Wayans and said, you know, me as a black man.
Oh, that was just ridiculous.
But if you watch this video, she was talking about him.
Yeah.
She wasn't speaking about herself, but it was so easily taken out of context, and it was hilarious. Don't get me wrong. You know, them doing the flipping of it. You know what I mean? But I'm with
But it's how they roll. That whole Rainbow Push Coalition in Chicago, they've been trying to push that whole agenda since the 80s. That whole thing with the acceptance, that Rainbow Push, and you got to think that's Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson was selling the Rainbow Push as if it were something that was going to be for Black people. That was supposed to be the movement that was supposed to make inclusivity in a government on a wider scale. That was Jesse Jackson that was pushing it. Then you go out to go visit, and you go to the Rainbow Push, and you go to one of their parties or one of their fundraisers, and then the representation is a lot of Black, you know, transvestite, a lot of Black gay males. There was a lot of gay people that were a part of the Rainbow Push, and now I'm giving my age up. But I'm just saying that the whole thing with where they said they wanted to integrate that into the curriculum, that they wanted to integrate inclusivity, Rainbow Push played a very big part of it. So when they do speak about Michelle and they talk about Barack, like, you got to remember Larry St. Clair coming all out saying, you know.
I don't doubt that Obama's gay. Now let me make that very, very clear. Like there's no, first of all, the fact that they're not investigating and somebody's really taking the time to look into his chef. Like that's really shitty. You know what I mean? Like this is that Black dude is perceived. He's the damn chef for the president, regardless of whatever his sexuality is and political beliefs or whatever. He was doing his thing. He had a family. You know what I mean? And he was doing his thing. And it's like nobody seems to really care what happened to that man. And I don't know if it's true, but they said that he was found naked.
Well, you know what it is, and I hate to say this, but I think the reason why Larry Sinclair wasn't believed, I saw the whole Tucker Carlson interview and everything, and he had corroborating, whatever, but I think the reason why he wasn't believed is because he's white. If that was a Black man who said that, people would be like, oh, Obama's gay. But because he's white, they can always put it around, oh, it's racism, blah, blah, blah. Now, if that Black chef had came out oh, everything is a wrap. So he had to go.
But you see, they didn't let him come out. He got killed.
Yeah, that's what I said. The black chef
Right.
had to go because he was credible. He had to go.
Yeah.
Larry Sinclair is an old white crackhead. They can say, oh, he old white crackhead. But that black chef, anybody black, really, if anybody black in the Obama circle of Chicago comes out and says whatever about Obama, they're credible and Obama's a rap. So in that case, that chef had to go. I hate to say it like that, but
no,
it's
the truth. It's the truth. But the fact that nobody's covering it either, because wouldn't that be a story that would be worthy for Candace Owens to like dig her feet and her boots and everything into, right? Sink her teeth into that? Because let's not, like, this guy just died. He's just floating in the water in Martha's Vineyard, and you know, he's clearly gay. I don't care if he got a wife and kids. He clearly was gay. You look at his interviews, you look at his pictures, he was gay too. You know what I mean? So come on. I mean,
he drowned in like 3 feet of water, so he was placed there.
That's the norm that they normally drown in.
But he was placed
2
there.
to 3 feet.
Yeah, you was placed there. You were placed there.
But couldn't he just stand up? You know what I'm saying? Like you know, I'm drowning.
Not to be knocked out. Like, we don't even know what happened. We don't even know what happened to him. Like, they didn't give us nothing about what happened to that man. We don't know if he had.
And you know, that's how the investigations. They opening up investigations about the cocaine. They opening up investigations about a couple other things. Why not opening up the investigation about that? I was like, you know what? I would like to know. You know, this is kind of important. Why y'all just gonna leave this alone? You know what I'm saying? Now I'm telling you, when they brought up that whole Epstein thing, and they said, yeah, he killed himself, and we're gonna give you footage to let you see that this is down. I was like, you know what? Everybody was about to go down. Everybody, if once they saw it and they said, you see why y'all gotta shut up? You see why we can't talk about it? Because it's dirty on both sides. I mean, I supported Trump, and he knew from the beginning. He was the first one that said out loud, yeah, Jeffrey Epstein likes him young, but he's a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even want to really use that against him, even though they did. But he knew what was going on. They all knew. They all on top of each other. You know, just
gonna get no people to say anything about. You can't. Nobody say. You can't even get them to talk about the fact that he's the father of warp speed. Like, everybody wants to talk about Biden forcing people to get the vaccine, but it's like, well, would Biden had a vaccine to force if Mr. Warp Speed didn't create the shit? You know what I mean? So like, and like, bring him back in because he's going to free us from these prison of COVID that we had. And it's like, he was the president when this shit happened. Are you kidding me? So yeah, they all in on it. They all in on it.
It's a lot. It's a lot, but a lot of people don't even. They're not paying attention. No one's really watching stuff.
No,
I'm on a whole different level.
Everybody wants to be on a team. Everybody
and on top of that, people are just used to going for anything, you know. Oh yeah, they said that and they believe it. They don't question shit. You know, it's like whatever somebody said, they just go along with it.
That's all. Everybody wanted, and I've never seen the immaturity that I've seen, like what I'm seeing now in my life. Like, all these grown people within their late 40s and 50s, and I'm in my 40s, and everybody wants to be in these cliques and these groups, and it's like, oh my God, I hated high school. I'm going back. I hate it.
It's surreal.
Can't do it.
This is ass backwards. That's what it looks like. It's all ass backwards.
We're going backwards. Absolutely. We are regressing. We are regressing.
We are.
Wow.
And unfortunately, it's the team dynamic that keeps us from the goals we should have. Going back to what I was saying about term limits. Term limits would cure 99% of all this bullshit. But
I said that years ago.
Agree. As a country, it's going to be black against white, liberal against conservative, We never can get on one accord long enough. I've always said, I'm not a fan of protests. I think most protests are dumb. But when we get to that protest on Washington where like 2-3 million of us say, fuck these taxes, let me know when that protest is. I'm going to be at that joint. If we all can go to that, liberal, conservative, Everybody,
I'm with you, but I'm gonna tell you,
let's go.
you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that. You're not going to get that no terms. And listen, because I agree. I just like, well, I mean, why the hell can't we just get a president and run his ass until he dies, or can't do it no? Everybody agreed we like him, right? But that would be assuming that voting actually matters. That would be assuming that all of this stuff ain't orchestrated. That would be assuming that they're not controlling this entire thing and keeping it to where as though you get Democratic, then you get Republican. No, because this happened because the Democrats were in office, and then now the Republicans come in and fix it, and now all this is messed up because the Republicans, and so we're gonna get the Democrats to fix it. That's how you control it. It's just like religion. It's just like religion.
It's a matter of you can't depend on the Congress to vote to regulate itself. Now, if somebody really wanted term limits, a president or something like that, they could always do like a referendum to say, like, do people want term limits? See how much that referendum gets, and then it's like, okay, the people want this, whether it's binding law or whatever, to show that the people actually want this for real, and us to be able to force everybody running, every single congressperson, if you're not for term limits, we're not voting for you, period. But I feel like so many of us are scared because we're scared because, oh my God, if I don't support Republican, then Kamala's gonna win and the world's over. Oh God, if I don't support Kamala, then Trump's gonna win and the world is over. Guess what? The country gonna go on regardless of who the fuck the president is. The shit's gonna go on anyway. Do what's best for you. But because we're all so scared, we get siloed in our little team, and that's why we can't come together and actually do things. The thing I like the most about Trump is that Trump actually is more in the middle than anybody else I've seen in forever. Actually, Trump actually comes way close to the middle than any president I've seen. He's not too far right, he's not too far left, and that's why he won.
Okay, people, Benji has left the building.
Well, look, I gotta leave the building too because I hear my babies. So,
yes, we all get ready to leave the building. So, Ariel, just tell them how they can find you because I'm getting ready to close.
Okay,
tell them where they can find you.
It's been great, Laverne, Sophia, Benji, Trivian. My handle, I put it on here at the very end, is @azen03. My website is www.ifocusexperience.com. My DMs are open. I also have a YouTube channel, Today Can You Dig It 1111 on YouTube, where you can see me sharing my story. I also decode artwork, and I also show you number patterns of how the system is working. Thank you. So you guys can find me there, and that's it.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us today.
8103.
What'd you say?
I didn't say anything. I don't know who
If
that
you
was.
could just repeat your handle one more time, please.
Oh, she had it up.
That was me.
I didn't know that was you. Okay, go ahead.
@azen03. And it'll be Today. My name is Today on my account.
Gotcha.
And Sophia.
It's been so long, y'all. I'm here. I'm always here. At Patty Free. I'm on Twitter. I'm going to be selling insurance soon. I'm going to need to get my Black people to get some insurance so that they can stop dying and their bodies be going up for science. But yeah, it's at Patty Free, and I'm here on X. I try to play around with other things on Telegram, but X is it for me. And thank you again, Laverne. Nice to meet you today. And Benji, I missed you.
Oh, we already
I miss you too.
We already follow each other, Sophia.
Yes, that's right. That's what I got you.
Oh, okay.
Benji. Benji, tell them where to reach you at.
Yes, I'm Benj Irby. I'm Benj Irby on X, but really my real party is on Instagram. That's what and I see you join you follow me on Instagram, Laverne. Do more on Instagram, Laverne. We miss you over there. But yes, I'll be on Instagram, but I am on X, so follow me on X, Benj Irby, Instagram, Benj Irby as well. And TikTok. You also can catch me on Tuesdays on Newsmax.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I love the contents that's on Instagram, but I don't do too much posting on Instagram. I'm always posting on X. Only X, and every now and then Facebook. The problem is, you know, I can't say nothing on Instagram, the things that I want to say. You know, they won't allow you to say it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to just waste my time like that. Same thing with Facebook. What the hell I'm going to say on Facebook? You know, they going to put me in Facebook jail. So, you know, forget it. So this is my platform that I really like, and Rumble. Y'all can follow me on Rumble and also on YouTube. Also follow Travian on X.
Yes.
And thank you everybody for joining us today. You can also follow Jerome, who is
Yes.
the Radical Republican.
Radical Republican.
Follow him on X, and he also has a show every Sunday night. So thank you everybody for joining us today right here on the X platform. Thank you, Nora, Jay, and everybody else taking. Who was that? Taking somebody. Say. Oh, Eric. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining so much. We'll see you next week right here on the Hood Conservative Podcast with my co-host Travian at 3 p.m. on Thursday, every Thursday, Eastern Time. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Hi, I'm Laverne Spicer, and I'm asking for your support today. Thousands of Americans struggle to get food, and they wonder where their next meal is going to come from. But I'm here, been working with them for over 25 years to provide food to people that need it the most, right here at our community food bank. So today, I'm asking you for your support. Please provide a contribution to help make a real difference in our community and to help us feed people. And you can do it right here. Donate today on Cash App. And you will see the link above.